What are you expecting from the lads today? Then are you expecting? No, no, genuinely expecting tonight.
Can you hear us? Yes, I can hear you. I had the Wi-Fi on, so I needed to test it with the 4G on, because that's what I'm going to be using on Uplight. Yep, sounds good to me.
Up to an 8 o'clock kickoff tonight. Have a crack on with Chris Jones, as we always do on a Friday evening.
Oh, I haven't even picked my team.
Oh, you need to get.
I haven't even had a look.
Well,
I've got too many things going on.
I know you have. I'm going to do
Busy
the,
man,
the
ain't you?
sports headlines now, Ben.
Da-da-da-da.
That gives you a little bit of time to have a quick look at the fixtures, okay?
Total Sport Northeast.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Well, Benno ponders who he thinks might draw 0-0 this weekend. To be fair, he's the only one so far this season that's had a winner in our little game, so the pressure's off him a little bit. Hillsborough is less than half an hour away. Sheffield Wednesday versus Sunderland in the Championship, and our commentator Nick Barnes can remind us of the team news.
Yeah, just one change. Roberts comes in for Barr, Patterson in goal, Hume, Ballard, O'Neill and Huggins, Neil, Joe, Roberts. Alex Pritchard's 100th appearance, and Clark and Burstow up front. On the bench is Rusin, of course. Will we see him again tonight? I suspect we will.
Newcastle's head coach Eddie Howe.
I'm trying the dark theme on YouTube, but I kind of get used to it.
After injuring his toe last weekend. Callum Wilson's hamstrings being monitored. Alexander Isak and Sven Botman are also doubts for tomorrow's visit of Burnley in the Premier League. After the first day's play in the Ryder Cup, it's been brilliant, hasn't it? Europe lead the United States 6.5, 1.5. Their dinner will be tasting better than the Americans this evening. They whitewashed the Americans in the foursomes this morning, and 3 of the afternoon 4 balls were tied, with Europe winning the other. So the USA yet to win a match.
Hopefully I'm going to go for 3-0 Sunderland, Grant. Fingers crossed. How are you doing anyway? How are you doing?
Heavyweight fight between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk has been agreed. It'll take place in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. No date's been chosen yet, but that will be much anticipated by boxing fans, won't it? In cricket, Durham were presented with the Division 2 County Championship trophy at Chester Street today. They entered the season in style as well. They beat Leicestershire by an innings and 141 runs in their final game of the season. In basketball, in the BBL Championship, the Newcastle Eagles take on Cheshire Phoenix. Tip-off in that one is at 7:45, which is disappointing because it means I can't demand a latest score from Dom. Never mind. Jamie Black. 0-0, thank you, he's told me anyway. Jamie Blameyer returns to the Newcastle Falcons team for tomorrow's game at Leicester. That's in the Premiership Rugby Cup. Kickoffs at 3, and you will be able to listen to commentary via the BBC Sport website. Finally, tennis, and the British pair Cameron Norrie and Dan Evans have been defeated in the first round of the China Open men's singles. Long way to go to get beaten in the first round, but there you go. Right then, that's given Benno plenty of time to choose his team for the little game that we'll be playing shortly. Chris Jones, our Friday night bookmaker, has joined us. Evening, Jonesy.
Evening, guys. How are you doing?
Hey, Chris.
Hi,
Not
Chris.
bad at all. Have you seen any of the golf today, Chris?
No, I haven't really seen much of it. I've been working the day, so I
Too
haven't
busy
really
grafting.
had the chance to watch much
You
of
don't
it.
sneak it on in the corner, do you not?
No, racing takes priority.
Does it? Okay. Fair enough. Let's hope you can give us a winning horse in a moment then. We'll start though with the game tonight, which is less than half an hour away now. And Sheffield Wednesday against Sunderland looks fairly obvious. I think some people are quite tempted by the prices they found on Sunderland. I think they're odds against with some bookies. I don't know about you, Chris.
Yeah, the other odds against with us. I mean, 6 to 5. So yeah, I mean, you would expect them to be odds on really. Certainly when you compare the two forms. Sheffield Wednesday, they're 11 to 5.
90 days. That's not
1,
too
and the
bad.
draw is 12 to 5. Sunderland 1-0, 7 to 1, 2-0, 14 to 1, and 2-1 is 10 to 1. There you see, the fact that the
I've got 2-1 to the lads. Would be nice to beat.
Some people.
Smack 'em in
What
Fletcher and
about
a Jody
Newcastle
Jeff Hendricks.
against Burnley tomorrow? Newcastle will obviously be hot favourites for that, but what price?
Yeah, really.
So do you think Sunderland will have a plan B tonight? And
you're not going to get
if
rich back in
Sheffield
them,
Wednesday have got 15 behind the ball, that we're going to struggle again to try and walk the ball
a bit of value there, and the draw is 9 to 2. If Newcastle win 1-0, 15 to 2, 2-0, 6 to 1, and 2-1 is 15 to 2. It's going to be one of those,
Yes.
you know, that people are just going to have them in the coupons as bankers.
And you always give us odds for Gateshead as well. They're right at Bromley in the National League, and they've been going great guns. Bromley, though, riding pretty high as well. So how do you call it?
Yeah, it's a good win in midweek game, wasn't it? And I mean, not surprising. We actually got Gateshead. They're odds on, so they're 10 to 11. Like you say, Bromley have not been playing bad neither. They're 5 to 2. They're at home, and the draw is 13 to 5.
What about the Ryder Cup then? Because, well, if people thought it might be quite close, if the odds suggested that prior to it beginning today, the odds have certainly changed a little bit over the course of the last 12 hours or so, haven't they?
We absolutely have. I mean, it was really, really tight to start off with. I mean, we had USA favourites from about even money in Europe, 11 to 10, and with the tie 12 to 1. Funny enough, the tie is still 12
So
to 1.
Grant, you said on my chat already, if Sheffield Wednesday win, it's not looking good for Mowbray.
We've got the wrapped up, and the USA 11 to 2. Obviously, tomorrow anything can happen tomorrow, and then you've got your singles on Sunday.
Okay. So yeah, that price reflects the dominance, Ando, today, doesn't it?
Absolutely not.
Tomorrow's a big day. Tomorrow's a huge day.
Yeah, it is.
They need 4 points tomorrow.
Yeah,
they need
they get 4 points. Yeah,
they get 4 points tomorrow.
Really
Then they need
position.
4 points out of the singles, and
Yeah,
that'll do.
that will do. What about a horse?
I mean, if you're
for us? 'Cause I'm
hunting
not
for the
sure
top
how
6
your tip
or
did last week. You might want to
let's
remind
say a
us.
top
Still
2.
running.
Yeah, it's still running.
You can't be
exactly,
losing
One
to
of them.
Cardiff at home and then
I
losing
mean,
at
I
the bottom
don't
of the league,
normally
Sheffield
tip
Wednesday.
favourites in
One after the
big
other.
races, but the
You
Cambridge
know,
tomorrow, there's
whether you like it or not, whether you like Mowbray,
72, it was 35
it will
runners in the
put
race,
pressure
but it
on the manager
literally is.
because
It should be. It's a group horse.
you're not going to get promoted
So,
or
you know,
in
you
the
might be thinking
playoffs
72,
when
but I
you're
suppose
doing
it's
that.
been worth
It's just not
72.
going to
So
happen.
yeah, 72 Greek order.
Not with the pace that the
Do gamble
teams at the top
responsibly,
are
of
sitting at
course,
the
if you do
minute.
choose
Absolutely.
to
Running
have
away.
a bet.
Chris, you did see what won the Irish as Harwich, didn't you?
The Irish is Irish. Which
Yeah.
one was that?
Last week,
Which one was that? Go on, tell us,
150,
John.
150 to 1 shot.
Yeah,
was it?
I did. Yeah, it was. Was it Manhattan something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
And I've ordered
I did
a nice
watch it,
pizza
yeah,
tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
You didn't
And I
come
was
up with
on
that
it.
one, no.
No, it's a shame you didn't. Imagine if he had.
Yeah.
If he had it, it wouldn't have started at
Oh.
150 to 1.
Not the
So we
usual
do this game
liver
called
and
Search for a
onions.
Stalemate, and we have a bit of fun with it. We put a virtual £10 bet on each week. This
Well-
season's game is all about trying to find a 0-0 draw somewhere. Benno is the only one who's succeeded so far. He's the only one. He's plus 50, we're all minus 60.
Get up.
Yeah,
Yep.
so see if he can consolidate his
Well done,
lead.
Gary.
Or let's see if
I'd
we can
rather
reel him in. So I'll go first. I'm bottom
Why
of-
do you go first? Why do you go first?
I'm bottom
Because
of
he's
the league.
bottom.
I'm bottom of the league. On
Okay.
alphabetical order.
I'd rather start rushing with a bar start.
So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna go for- I was
absolutely,
unlucky last week, it was a
absolutely.
1-0
Russian
as well.
looks sharp.
I'm going to go for, and you might not agree with me here, but you wait and see. Fulham against Chelsea in the Premier League. 12 to 1 I found.
Yeah, that's probably a good shout, really, isn't it? Yeah, you
Hey,
can
that's-
see that being
that's
a
it.
tight
Hey?
game. I mean, Chelsea can't score, can they, at the moment?
No,
so
that's
yeah,
my-
I
that's
think
my
that's
thinking.
not bad. It's not a bad shout.
And you happy with 12 to 1? That's what
I've
I
had
found.
I am happy with
sheets.
12 to 1. Yeah.
Okay, you can go next, Chris.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a game that they should have 0-0 written all
So
over it.
someone's saying,
Reading versus
Grant saying,
Burton.
I would rather start Russian
9 to
over
1.
Burstow because in the
Reading,
21
Burton.
game,
Okay, Andy, you're next.
Russian looks sharp.
I'm
and
gonna
Burstow's
go
been getting a lot of stick
QPR
recently on social
Coventry,
media. Do you
9
think
to
they're being
1.
harsh?
Yeah, that's not a bad shout. That. Yeah, so that's a fine at 9 to 1.
You like going for Coventry, don't you? You did that last week. What about you, Benno?
I'm going for Newcastle against Burnley. No, I'm only joking.
Okay. What are you going for, you rogue?
I'm going for Preston against West Brom at 12 to 1.
No, it's 8-1.
Did you get my score prediction for tonight's? I'll do the rest after the game,
You're
man.
not supposed to say anything.
Hey,
I'll tell you.
You're winning. I'm not
Did you
going
get
to
my
give you
score
any
prediction
more.
for tonight, Sheffield Wednesday?
8-1 it is.
8-1.
Sorry, Gaz.
Thank you, Chris.
John, man.
I did on. Let's have a look on Discord.
Chris, have a good weekend, but not too
Cheers,
good.
Chris.
Thanks for coming on this evening.
Cheers, Chris.
And enjoy the game tomorrow.
Thank
and
you.
Razor on air at 2
Cheers,
o'clock ahead
guys.
of the game
Cheers.
tomorrow. And the build-up to tonight's game at Hillsborough, Sheffield Wednesday against Sunderland with Benno and Nick Barnes is coming up next.
Service!
On BBC iPlayer.
Have you seen my sugar?
Yeah, it's over here.
Again, bottom of the league, Sheffield Wednesday haven't won. It's just the Sunderland way. It's the Sunderland way, isn't it?
Drama starring Vanette Robinson and Stephen Graham.
This is impossible. I need help, please.
Don't worry, I've got it.
No.
It's like working with a bunch of school kids.
Of course.
Calm down, I've had enough.
What happened last time you lost your temper in the kitchen?
He's all used to work for me. If it wasn't for here, I'd still have my own
Of course, I hope I'm wrong. It's just habit. This is what Sunderland have always done.
Total Sport.
Southampton Leeds. I would go for Leeds 3-1.
Sound of Sunderland.
Clark still going.
What a goal that is.
Yeah, because you're doing the watch along on other games, aren't you?
What a goal that is, by the way.
Great sport kicks off here.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
I'll send the rest of the me predictions after the game, man. I'll send them through.
We're going to hear from Mel Reay in just a moment. Sunderland women play on Sunday against Watford. And then we'll hear from Tony Mowbray, his thoughts ahead of tonight's game. The teams, Sunderland, Patterson in goal, Hume, Ballard, O'Nien and Huggins, Neil, Job. Roberts comes in for Barr tonight. Alex Pritchard makes his 100th appearance. Clark and Burstow. The bench is Bishop, Hamir, Barr,
Watford
Rustin,
Middlesbrough
Taylor,
stands out tomorrow.
Sealt, Triantis and Rigg.
Southampton Leeds as well, and
Wednesday
that's a
team shows
12:30
couple of
kickoff, so
changes.
that's probably going to be either
Davis
broadcast
Vasquez,
on the
Colombian in
radio or
goal.
something.
He's on loan from AC Milan. The back three, Deschamps Bernard, Jamaican international, Bambo Diaby from Senegal, Akin Femewo. And then the four across the middle, Paul Valentin.
I still
Spain,
agree
Jeff
what Anne
Hendrick on
says. I
loan
don't
from
think
Newcastle.
Ipswich will be there.
George Byers comes in for the injured Barry Bannon, and in for Juan Delgado comes Callum Patterson across the front.
Injuries will get them.
John Buckley, who's on loan from Blackburn, Lee Gregory, and Dutchman Anthony Musaba. There's no Josh Windus on the bench either for Sheffield Wednesday tonight. Sunderland will be in their red and white stripes tonight, as deemed by the Football League. That's what they have requested, apparently. More on the strips when we play Stoke, because that will be the next time we see the fluorescent adolescents against Stoke, and I'm led to believe we will have blue numbers on the back of the shirts then. Anyway, I mentioned
I've just been told
Sunderland
next time we're playing
are
our
playing
fluorescent strips,
and,
we'll be
we're
having blue numbers on the back.
Hear now from the Sunderland head coach, Mel Reay.
Mel, the international break probably, I mean, it's
our fluorescent yellow.
Is it a good or a bad thing? You're on a good run. You want to try and build that momentum, and it breaks that up. But I suppose the other side of it is give you a chance to reflect and dwell on the really good start to the season that you've had.
Yeah, I think it coming at a good time for it. I think because we've started.
Yeah, I was having a lovely day at work today until I got that lovely email from YouTube. Oh, thank you very, very much for cheering my Friday up.
You know, they've had a chance to rest and recover as well. Give them a few days off, and you know they've been jumping back into the training ground.
I don't know whether I'm allowed any jokes, am I?
Get to go again, which is good.
And wants a very clean
is sometimes a drain.
Channel on here, doesn't
so
he?
Those who've remained here have had a little bit of time off and recharged their batteries, ready to go.
I mean, you mentioned the other week about trying to attract people to Eccleston and get the crowds up, and I suppose the flip side of it is that I don't know if teams don't like coming to play at Eccleston because it is small.
Been told by Ants to be here when we're off air.
Tending to play at the parent club stadium.
Yeah. I mean, we really enjoy playing there. It feels like home, and when it's full, it feels really good. You know, the players enjoy the crowd feeling on top of them, and I think we had 700 in there against Palace. And
so, what's your predictions for tonight, then, lads? For the score,
we had a lot of kids were in there. There was a lot of noise, a lot of banging on the sides, and you know, a bit like a pantomime. When there was a foul, they were booing, and you know, I think that's all part of the atmosphere, and they certainly help we get over the line towards the last stages.
And your start, you've not lost yet. You're keeping on the whole clean sheets, but you are only scoring the one goal. I mean, it's a bit of the Sam Allardyce dictum, wasn't it? Keep a clean sheet and win the game 1-0. But I'm sure you want more goals. You want to try and produce more.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you have to start somewhere and to have a solid platform in terms of being strong defensively, and having clean sheets certainly gives you the platform to build and go on and get at least a point. And finding the back of the net obviously means you get all three. So hopefully over the next block of games we can hit the back of the net more. It's something that we want to do collectively as a team, to certainly put the games to bed quicker, because they've been really close and competitive and stressful. So if we could score a couple of goals early doors, that would be great.
I'm guessing here your recruitment is not like the men's game where you've got Christian and his team sitting on a database of 900 players or whatever. Yours is very much based on developing through the academy and the younger players, and in some senses that's a similarity to the men's team in youth. I mean, is that something that is really key for you now, is to try and get these players through the academy and into your team?
I think it's important that you develop your own, which is what the club want us to do, and the same for Tony's team. But there has to be a point where you're bringing in experience as well, which is what we've done over the summer. And I think you can see these experienced players have added real value to what we do, and have been imperative in us getting results on the pitch. The young players will always take time. Grace Eads has obviously been in the starting 11 the last 2 games. It might be that she might not be there every game. You have to pick and choose depending on how the opposition's set up and what Grace's strengths are and how she can be involved in the game. And likewise for Katie, being involved in every game, came off the bench, the game changers, they're having real impact, and that time will come. Whether it's Sunday or whether it's next season, they just have to be really patient and make sure they keep developing along the way.
And Watford, what do you expect? It's difficult to know. I mean, they've got goals in their team, obviously, but
I think on the day anyone can beat anyone, and they've got a good experienced players. Coral Haynes, as an example, who was at Palace last year, a really good central midfielder who didn't want to go full time with Palace, wanted to remain part time. Players like herself are going to be a danger, and we have to make sure we keep them quiet.
Total Sport North East.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Sunderland women head coach Mel Reay there at Eppleton on Sunday at 2 o'clock. Sunderland are at Hillsborough 8 o'clock tonight. Sheffield Wednesday. 1 change to Sunderland, 2 changes for Sheffield Wednesday. I've been chatting to the Sunderland head coach Tony Mowbray.
Tony, injuries, not specifically for one of your current squad, but Elliot Embleton's come back from Derby with what appears yet again to be another longer term injury for him, which is a big blow.
Oh, it's a big blow for the boy. I mean, a huge blow. I've had long chats with him. He's been in my office. I've been on the phone to him. He's obviously pretty down, pretty low. He had 8 months out here, and the reason he went out on loan was to try and give him some game time at a level that he would be able to, not find himself on the bench playing 10 minutes, 20 minutes, but hopefully going and playing. And we felt after an 8-month layoff that was going to be more beneficial for him. And obviously, a few weeks into that, he's looks like he's popped his thigh muscle or torn his thigh muscle. But yeah, it's going to be a good few months, I think. So we discussed with him about him coming back really and having his rehab here with what we would call his family, with his players, so he can get around everybody. And as I've said to him, maybe he comes to some of the away games with us, and just want to integrate him into the club and make sure he feels part of what we're trying to do.
Wretched luck. Going back to the Cardiff game, and you were talking about that match, and you were doing pretty much everything right except score. There's been a sort of change over the last year in the team that you're developing with the fans. It was noticeable that they stayed with you through the first half, which was obviously a slow burn. It was difficult, but they didn't get impatient. That they appreciated what you were doing, and I think there's a shift there, and I think people appreciate what this team is trying to achieve.
Listen, that'd be nice. To be honest, I didn't sit there and have that reflection. I was left with the disappointment or the frustration of the game that we should have scored, and having watched it back, we should have scored. There were some amazing chances to score a goal. Just a minor decision, you know. Even Hamir, when he came on, he had a little header at the back stick that Alex Pritchard was stood on his own at the other side of the other post with just a little nod in. If he'd have nodded it back across the goal, and he tried to pick somebody else out, but lots of chances. Patrick had a shot blocked off the line, and you know, it would have been, as I said after the game, it would have been one of them nice games if we'd have won 1-0 against a team who didn't really come to try and win, but came to stifle and frustrate. We have to accept it. There was, as I said, there was enough right in the game to know that if we keep doing the same things, we will score some goals. And for the support base, hopefully they're recognising and seeing an identity of the team, of the way we play, and how we're trying to create chances and how we're trying to be positive. And you can't score 5 goals every game you play at home. So hopefully they stay with the team. The team is young and still needing of experience, but we appreciate the support. And as you rightly say, I think the support stayed till the end and probably felt that we were going to win it. Unfortunately for us, the goal went in at the other end, which was really frustrating.
By all accounts, Rusin, for the under-21s the other night, played very, very well with the pace and what he brings to the game. Are you, I know you won't want to give anything away to Sheffield Wednesday, but are you tempted to start with him or use him more?
Don't know why Bristol's starting again. I know, Brian. It's a funny one, that 3-1 to Kirsty.
The boy
Welcome,
needed to
Kirsty,
train.
and welcome, Brian.
He'd done a few training sessions, hadn't trained for a month. He actually had discussions with me about game time for the first time, as if he's not ready really yet, and he wanted to play for the under-21s, and no, he didn't play down the middle. He played off the left generally, but he's got a lovely eye for diving in off the left, you know, with straight balls, diagonal runs, and you know, he did very, very well and looked pretty sharp. I think he still has to integrate into the group. You know, we've got some big personalities in our group.
For the results,
he's a young boy who's come over, and he has to filter in and earn the respect of the team by the attributes he brings. And
Sheffield Wednesday haven't won a game all
season,
season, so
I'm pretty hopeful that not too long a period of time he'll have forced his way into the team with his talent and his work ethic, and hopefully the goals and assists that he brings.
Sheffield Wednesday, I mean, it's extraordinary. I mean, you've always said that, you know, football, it can change in an instant, and you look back to the end of last season, that remarkable playoff 2 legs for Sheffield Wednesday, you know, seemingly down and out, and they actually go through in the end, and now here they are, you know, Darren Moore's moved on, the club seems to be in turmoil, and they can't buy a win.
No, and yet, you know, they've got a passionate support base. It's a big football club. It's the players, they're recognisable players. You know, it's a bit of a mystery why they haven't managed in the, I don't know whether it's 7 or 8 games they've played now, they haven't managed to win. They've drawn 2, I think, and we have to go there and worry about ourselves and be as efficient as we can and make life really difficult for them. I know they'll be giving everything they've got to try and get that first win. You know, and the fact will be that they won't be waiting too much longer.
I'm sure
too cocky, we have to try and make sure it's the one after us, and be really professional and go there and make sure that we can beat the team who has struggled so far in the division, and we have to impose ourselves on them and try and win a football match.
But the self-belief in your team must be strong. I think, you know, those games leading up to last weekend, you see the way this team is developing, and as you said, I think it's a better team this season.
Do you think our team in Sheffield Wednesday
must be still
we've grown further apart, us being the better team, since we last played?
I think so, and that was the message why we were trying to be upbeat. Man City got beat last night. You know, it's you know, I watched the first half before I went to pick my son up from his football training, and I couldn't believe that Man City were getting beat because they had so much of the ball in the first time. There was so much in control, and yet that's football, and there's fine margins in a low-scoring sport. And so we have to be very, very mindful that, you know, Sheffield Wednesday are going to win a football match somewhere down the line, and it's we have to make sure it's not us and be really, really professional and know that we have to fight for every ball, make sure that we know we have to compete on all of the set plays that come in our box, and hopefully we can get the job done. But as you know, the team have to perform at the level that they've been doing, and they have to trust the way that we've worked and how we play. And if we find a level of consistency, we will have probably more of the ball, and we will get to a point where we're trying to break them down. So
would you say the league table is a bit, when I say false, obviously the league table doesn't lie at the minute, but do you think the league table is a bit false now? Like when I say that, fast forward with 3 games left at the end of the season, do you think these teams will be still where they are now? Possibly Sheffield Wednesday could be in the playoffs for the championship.
Probably on a Tuesday and a Wednesday night, Friday. It's just shouldn't be, should it?
Strange. As I said earlier, I think modern day football. We played Sunday afternoon last week. We've played Saturday morning. We've got another Saturday morning one coming up. We've got Wednesday night coming up. We've got Friday this week. I don't think there's anything that's not acceptable now in modern day football. You play when the TV cameras are rolling, I think, and as a coach, you just have to make sure you're organised, and you count back from match day on which days the players train, how hard they train, when do they need to take the breather, and you try and fit into the schedule of how it looks. Now, I know we do at this club, we try to work a month in advance, constantly working a month, and so that we know where the rest days are, where the working days are, where the development afternoons are for the young players that need to improve certain aspects of the game, and we just work off as you have to. The game days, you have to work back how many days.
I'm surprised they're allowed to do that because of people that suffer from epilepsy, and I'm surprised
days
they're allowed to do that
after the previous game. Do you keep working on what you need to improve from that game? And it's part of modern day football, really, and it's not just Saturday afternoon 3 o'clock like it used to be every single week. And but every
they have done that the last few, haven't they?
And modern day football, apparently, I mean, you'll know, you have to get the bus back. You'll be on the bus back from Hillsborough. And Pep Guardiola apparently a little unhappy that they couldn't fly back from Newcastle to Manchester last night and had to go on the bus.
Yeah. Listen, I would never be critical of Pep on the decision, because he is an elite manager, who, if not the best manager in the world, and he wants to win everything. And for us, I've got in my mind, I'm a bit frustrated with Wednesday and then Saturday morning. There's not enough. It didn't feel like there's enough turnaround from Watford to Middlesbrough, even though they're both home games. It feels like, I know, I'll probably be getting home after midnight, I think, and then we have to come in the next morning, because the next morning will be Thursday, where we really should be preparing. The staff will prepare, the players will cool down after the game, but then you've got Friday, which has to be really light because it's 12:30 kick-off on a Saturday. It doesn't feel as if there's any prep from one game to the next, and obviously you heighten the danger of players picking up stress injuries on their muscles and their bodies. But it's just the schedule that we've got, and so we, in an ideal world, we should have been playing Watford on a Tuesday. And yet Watford have got games before and after as well, and we did ask the question, and they've already, I think, as they're going to Swansea after playing us, and they're already staying over in the northeast and taking a travel to Wales without going back home. So we all have our challenges, and I think we accept them and get on with them. The frustration, of course, for clubs who don't have 30 international footballers is when you lose key players, there is a difficulty to try and put the same level of performance out if you're bringing in players who haven't been asked to play so far. But as I say, part and parcel of modern football.
Total Sport North East.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett, MBE.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Well, despite all the problems that Sheffield Wednesday have off the field, there's a fair crowd in here tonight. But away to our left in the Leppings Lane end, and the 2 tiers, there are close to 4,000 fans from Sunderland, and it's them that you can hear this evening. The 2 teams out, Sunderland in their red and white stripes and black shorts, red socks, and Sheffield Wednesday in their blue and white stripes, blue shorts and blue socks. And whilst the other week we had problems with reading the Sunderland numbers, on the white on fluorescent yellow or fluorescent lime green. Tonight, Sheffield Wednesday are wearing red numbers on blue stripes. It's not the easiest to read their numbers, but we'll get there. So
how old was that?
The two sets of players will line up round the centre circle.
God, that's nothing, is it? Does anybody know what happened to that?
Because there will be a minute's applause for the Sheffield United women's player Maddie Cusack, who so tragically passed away just ahead of Newcastle's game at Bramall Lane last weekend.
Well, I think they do
the officials, just Sam Barrett, the referee,
they're doing a round of applause for her
stand
anyway.
Here with his two assistants at the edge of the centre circle.
They're doing a minute round of applause. We're starting off. Well, let's just hope the lads can set us into a good mood for the rest of the weekend. Would you be happy with a point tonight? You are?
So we're moments away from getting this game underway, yet to see what will unfold over the night with the problems that the owner has basically exacerbated by his own devices. Releasing another great big long screed of a statement today, which seems to be very divisive and seems to have basically effectively cut himself off from his own supporters. The Sunderland players, Burstow and Job, take the knee, as does the referee and the Sheffield Wednesday.
Is it time that's had its day now, that do you think?
Sheffield Wednesday to get the game underway.
No.
They're defending the Speon Kop, attacking the Lepping Road end, and the ball played up onto the head of Job, who finds Burstow on the halfway line, and then it's come back down the right for Sunderland. Huggins trying to get it forward. Hume trying to get it forward for Roberts, who's in for Barr tonight. And then it's hooked away by Bernard, Dishon Bernard, a Jamaican international.
It doesn't matter
in
if
the centre, Hendricks trying to block and does,
white,
and the ball played out wide on the left-hand side here for Patterson, who swings it wide. He's one of the two changes made tonight. Barry Bannon injured. Callum Patterson comes in for Juan Delgado, and Barry Bannon's replaced by George Byers,
somebody ban Ant, please?
The captain.
Can somebody just ban Ant
tonight. Throw to Sunderland on the far side, taken and drops to Neil, and that's eventually gone out for a throw to Sheffield Wednesday on the far side.
Good evening, Leighton Mills. Hope you've had a good day, mate.
Drops wide on that right-hand side for Valentin, I think, before it's finally shepherded behind by Clark for a...
Thanks for popping in again.
Goal kick.
So straight away you can see the way Sheffield Wednesday have set up there, they're pressing high up.
We thought that might
I think
be
it's
the
quite
case,
concerning though. We've played 2 minutes and we haven't brought them down yet.
In front if they possibly could. Here's O'Nien trying to get away from on this left-hand side. Buckley, I think, or for Maywo. as Gregory jogs into the centre. The ball, and Byers is there as well, but Sunderland on the left of the penalty area managed to get the ball out into midfield. Burstow gets it back to Joe, but it's come back in the centre circle to Diaby, Bambo Diaby, and then out here on this left-hand side to Famewo. He plays it back to Diaby, swung a diagonal ball long down the right wing, where it's nodded back by the Spaniard, Valentin, and eventually back to Bernard. And Diaby in the middle of his half. Closed down by Burstow, plays it back to the goalkeeper, Vasquez, who's not cleared that well. And a foul on Job leads to a free kick, yeah.
Vasquez, it was a bad pass out by the goalkeeper.
It was a poor pass out, wasn't it?
It was a 50-50 ball, wasn't it? And
yeah.
He reacted quickly.
Yeah, you're welcome, Leighton, mate. Just finished work.
Good position, though.
Well, Pritchard will fancy himself.
Excellent position.
Yeah, I've had a very busy week.
You've got to hit the target. You've got to watch the goalkeeper, Nick.
Smack dab in the middle.
I'm glad it's the weekend.
It's about 25 yards out.
Fantastic turnout by the supporters.
Well,
again,
it is nearly close to 4,000. We're into the fourth minute here. Pritchard just like a golfer, just flicking a couple of blades of grass away in front of the ball.
Get in.
The 25-year-old Colombian. And his arms dropped down by his side.
Sorry.
Here he comes with his right, and he's come off a defender in the wall and gone behind for a corner. Sunderland's first corner. And Pritchard jogging down to take that on the left at the Cop end of Hillsborough. And
what a start! What a start!
Have Job and Burstow in the penalty area, lining up behind the penalty spot, and Ballard is up there in the D as well, being marshalled at the moment.
Sorry, I thought I was actually on mute on your channel.
Post on, it's in.
Excellent goal.
Sunderland score. Ballard comes through the middle, heads home. In the 5th minute, Sunderland take the lead. Dan Ballard gets up there, his break from the back of the penalty area, headed in past Vasquez, and Sunderland lead by a goal to 0.
Tell you what, free header. Great ball in, inviting somebody to go and attack it, but the goalkeeper was nowhere near. He was on way under the ball.
So, Ballard.
You see the goal there, Nick, you know, you've just seen the replay. Nowhere near, but excellent, Ballard. Good reaction.
Well, what a start for Sunderland. This is not the start that Sheffield Wednesday needed.
My pizza's arrived.
Well, they didn't, we did. I think that is the way to look at it. We're still waiting for the restart here.
I think we should put Ballard up front. That's the second goal he's scored
second goal this season. So we've been talking to Tony about getting more goals from set pieces, more goals from.
I'll try not to spoil it anymore, guys. Sorry, I just got overexcited then.
Ballard's
Sorry.
got one tonight, and Sunderland are one up. Must congratulate Alison and Ian, who got married at the Roca Hotel this afternoon.
At the Roca.
At the Roca. So they'll be congratulating. Probably
6 minutes 30.
Goal, but and why should they? They'll be having a good night regardless. Over on the right-hand side, it's Bernard trying to get the ball down to Valentin. He pushes it on down that right side for Musaba, the Dutchman, and it's come out eventually on the left.
That's it, half-time.
And for Famewo pushing forward.
That's it, it's half-time. Come on, well done, lads.
Patterson's ball into the penalty area, cleared by Luke O'Nien. And now Dan Neal sweeping it away just across the face of Jack Clark, and he's gone out for a throw on the right-hand side inside the Sheffield Wednesday half for the home team. Callum Patterson stretching his right leg already. We're only 7 minutes into the game. Ball back to Vasquez. He's in lime green. He's nearly caught by Burstow as he gets the ball up towards halfway. Patterson trying to flick it forwards for Gregory. It's come all the way back. And Burstow's offside. He tries to go around the keeper.
Get in!
Cheeky.
Get in! Oh shit, sorry.
Why not?
Sorry.
The goalkeeper comes out to
no,
take
sorry.
The free kick. Straight over the head of Patterson. Oh, Patterson
sums it up there. Patterson there, a bit of frustration.
Very sort of angry kick away of the ball when it dropped over his shoulder and out for a throw to Sunderland.
Yeah, and that's frustrating. It's the basics, you know, from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, they're one down and it's starting to get to them already, it seems. They try and exert a bit of pressure on.
What a goal!
Patterson.
What a goal!
Through the middle, and out on his left-hand side, Byers calling for it, but Job has got it back for Sunderland. Lovely ball over the top and down the left for Clark. Takes it down. He's got support with Dan Neal in the middle. Still going. Pritchard at the edge of the area. Clark shot. Oh! Jack Clark. 2-0. What a finish from Jack Clark. Just let rip with his right foot from the edge of the penalty area. Smashed it into the corner.
What a goal.
And we're only 8 minutes into the game.
Great ball out by Job. But great control.
Sorry, Leighton, I'm trying not to spoil it.
On his mind, Jack Clark. How many times have we seen that happen? He cuts inside. Bottom left-hand corner. Goalkeeper, no chance. 2-0.
Well, you can hear the boos from the Sheffield Wednesday fans. The unhappiness is more than evident in the stadium. But Sunderland were not even in the 10th minute, and Sunderland lead it here 2-0. Terrific finish from Jack Clark, and all that pre-match talk of scoring 5 or 6. You know, to be honest, the way they've started, you wouldn't rule it out.
Well, Nick, you know, you reflect back on the game on Saturday. You know, we forget that, you know, Jack Hannick made 3 or 4 good saves.
There was fundamentally not a lot wrong on Sunday against Cardiff. It was Cardiff's determination just to stifle and put men behind the ball, and on another afternoon Sunderland would have won that game 3 or 4-0.
Well, you know, you look at Saturday, that shot from Jack Clark most probably would have been blocked somewhere along the line.
But 2-0 Sunderland lead. BBC Radio Newcastle. We've played 9 minutes, and here's Ballard, who scored the first, pushing the ball out wide on the left-hand side, down to Pritchard on the left. Strong challenge on him, but it's a throw.
That's
Pritchard,
typical trademark Clark, isn't it?
Knees just off the pitch on the
That's what Clark
far
can do.
side.
Absolutely.
And he'll get himself up on his feet now. And in fact, he has been awarded a free kick. So a free kick.
But that's what Clark can do. That's what he can do.
Sunderland half. And I've just seen a replay of Clark's goal. What a lovely finish. What a wonderful finish.
Tell you what, Nick, he's in fine form. He's got to be one of the best players in the Championship, by far.
Without question. Patterson in yellow blocks. In front of him was Gregory. It's played out to Hume. He's closed down by John Buckley, who's on loan from Blackburn, but it's back to O'Nien. Takes it back into the penalty area, plays it across to Ballard, and out wide again then to Huggins. He drives on up towards the halfway line.
Don't apologise, said Leighton.
Lovely ball over the top, looking for Burstow. Bounces in front of the goalkeeper, though, the edge of the area. And he takes it, Vasquez. And he's got Burstow ahead of him. Pritchard just behind that. He's rolled out to Diaby. Drives up to the halfway line, and the tackle made there by O'Nien was a good one. Pritchard to Job. Job to the corner of the penalty area on the right to Roberts. Roberts dribbling into the box. We've not seen much of him yet, and he's still trying to get through. He fell over. He's still come away with the ball and lays it off to Pritchard. Pritchard tackled by Patterson. It'll be a corner to Sunderland. The first delivered a goal. Can the second deliver a goal? Taken short quickly by Pritchard. Swept in by Roberts and headed away, though, by Patterson. Out for a throw. Here on the right for Sunderland. 2-0 up. We're in the 12th minute. Hume.
How many goals have we seen like that from Clark? Like, how many goals?
Roberts back to Hume. Tries to play it off Buckley. It's a throw to Blackburn. It came off Hume lastly. And the throw to be taken by
nice
Patterson.
pizza, says Kinside. Yeah,
and,
lovely, thank you.
Sweeps it up over the halfway line, over the head of Gregory. Ballard to Joe, but he's tackled by Gregory, who finds Musaba, who's trying to get it out wide on the right to Valentin, and he sweeps in across, and it'll be headed behind by Gregory. And a goal kick to...
We can't get carried away, though. We can't get carried away. We need
12 minutes played.
We can't sit in a 2.
Sunderland 2. Goals from
Dan enjoy
Ballard
it, but we can't sit back on 2-0.
Jack Clark out here to Roberts. Back to Hume. Back again to Luke O'Nien. Plays it across to Patterson. And I don't know if it's going to wind all the Sheffield Wednesday fans up, but the surname of the club's owner is just being... is on the advertising boards. Chansiri all around the pitch, as if they haven't had enough to contend with.
Does he love himself?
But I think there's narcissism, I think, is the word you're looking for. As the ball comes back to Patterson, play it out to Luke O'Nien, inside to Hume, then out to Dan Neil, back to Ballard, then wide to Huggins, inside the Sunderland half still. He's played it inside to Dan Neil, and Dan Neil again finds Hume in the middle. Neil again out on the left to Pritchard. Clark's making a run, but Pritchard's played it inside, and inside again to Dan Neil, just inside the Sheffield Wednesday half, and then Roberts over on that left-hand side as well, but Huggins finds Roberts. Roberts to Pritchard. Pritchard just trying to dink it forwards for Clark. Cut out though by Bernard, and up into the centre circle. A foul on Buckley, quickly taken by the Blackburn loanee, and then wasted by Valentin on the far side. Signed from Sporting Dijon in the summer. He's played it out behind for a goal kick to Sunderland. 2-0 then. Sunderland lead. 14th minute of the game. And Patterson, the centre-backs...
Do you guys know Burstow got the assist there, that goal?
Ballard to take the kick from the corner of the penalty area back to Patterson. He then drives it upfield, looking for Burstow's header on for Job, trying to get round the back of Diaby. Then it's played to Bernard, and Bernard lifts one high down the wing, looking for Musaba, but out it goes for a throw to Sunderland. BBC Radio Newcastle. Perfect start, 2-0 up, and you wouldn't rule out more from Sunderland as they wait to take this throw. Drops to Dan
Watching
Neil,
on Sky
back
tonight,
out
just
to
a quick
Huggins, back
message to
into
say appreciate what
Dan
you do.
Neil,
No, thanks for
and,
popping in
well,
here.
it opens up a bit from here, despite
Thanks
the
for popping
attempts
in. I
of
hope you well. Hope you enjoy your
Sheffield
Friday
Wednesday
night.
to try
So
and
far, so good.
win the ball back, but it's gone out to Roberts on the right, but he's tackled, and it'll be Buckley trying to bring the ball away, plays it inside to Byers, out to Patterson. Patterson swinging it across to the right wing now to Valentin, who plays it back to Bernard, into Hendrick, and Jeff Hendrick, who's on loan of course from Newcastle, back to the goalkeeper Vasquez, who passes it out wide to the edge of the area to Diaby. Burstow chases him, he lays it off to Bernard, and Clark blocks the attempt to play it forwards. It's a throw to Sheffield Wednesday on the right in their own half. 2-0, Sunderland lead, and you can hear the Sunderland fans away to our left in the Leppings Lane end of Hillsborough. It's you know, for a ground the size that Hillsborough is, it looks fairly full tonight actually, despite all the problems that are obviously occurring off the field.
Well, they get good crowds, don't they, Nick?
They do.
I think they still get around about the 20,000
There might still be,
mark.
Jacob, you don't know.
And well, at the moment in a very perilous position at the bottom of the championship. Here's Clark on halfway, playing the ball back to Luke O'Nien. O'Nien up to halfway, just short pass to Hume, back to O'Nien, and he's lifted it into the middle. Dan Ballard, and through here to Neil. Wide on the left to Huggins, just inside the Sheffield Wednesday half. Dan Neil, Clark, and Dan on halfway. Dan Neil, Dan Ballard just behind him. It's out to O'Nien. Roberts back to Hume in his own half. Closed down by Buckley. He's played it back to Ballard, and now out to Dan Neil again. Gregory goes to close him down. He plays it back to Ballard. Ballard across to Hume on this right-hand side in the Sunderland half in their red and white stripes tonight. and it's tapped out wide again to Hume, inside to Job. Job in the centre circle, just rolls it to his left to Huggins. There's no need for undue pressure. I mean, they're 2-0 up. They can afford to pass it around, take their time, try and open Sheffield Wednesday up, tire them out, I guess, in one sense. Here's Dan Neil again. On to Pritchard in space and out wide to Hume on the right wing. Halfway inside the Sheffield Wednesday half. Looking for the run of Pritchard down the edge.
We need a third to kill it off. Dare I say that so early on, but we can't get too...
work by Bambo Diaby.
We can't get too complacent, 2-0 up.
And a goal kick to Sheffield Wednesday. Diaby, who was signed from Preston in the summer, but played at Barnsley. Before that, it was only a season with Preston. Vasquez, the loanee from AC Milan, places the ball to take this goal kick, and the players.
We need a third goal. We need a third goal.
Halfway, and the kick down the left, trying to find Patterson, who flicks it on.
And with Jacob, it's still not 100% comfortable 2-0. They just need one goal from them, and it's nervy.
Much to the frustration of Patterson again. And Hume will take this 20 yards back inside the Sunderland half. Coming across is Job, lays it off to O'Nien, who's hooked it high in the air. He's looking for Huggins, and he hooks it with a volley up into the centre circle, and Bernard heads it away. It's going to come down on the far side for Valentin, who slips, and Burstow's away on the left here. Can he get further forwards? He's blocked, but he's got Clark in support. Clark away on the left, trying to come down the left of the penalty area. He lays it off behind to Burstow again, and it's blocked at the edge of the area as they try to find Roberts. And Musaba, the Dutchman, trying to make a break forwards here, and eventually back to Byers in the middle of the Sheffield Wednesday half, and across to Famewo, up to Byers again on halfway, back to Akin Famewo, and he's swept it across to the far side, looking for Valentin, who brings it down on the touchline, inside then to Musaba, and he is trying to weave a way through up to Gregory, who plays it back here to almost the halfway line, and Famewo, and he plays it through now to Musaba, calls a shoot for the Dutch striker, and eventually Patterson has to sprawl down to his right and tip the ball round for a corner after Sheffield Wednesday did shoot in the end. The first shot on target, Sheffield Wednesday in the 20th minute.
What we don't want to do is take our foot off, Nick, you know what I mean? You know, think that because we're 2-0 up, it's going to be an easy.
Gary Bennett just said. Gary Bennett just said what we don't want to do is take the foot off the pedal just because we're 2-0 up. 100%
corner
agree.
From the left is short to Byers from Buckley. Byers now to Famewo, and he's curled one. Well, it's hit the back stanchion as he curled one from 20 yards on the left, round the post for a goal kick to Sunderland. To show a replay of this, in fact, it might have been Musaba actually. I think it was. Musaba. No, it was Famewo. It was Famewo. And back it comes to Hume, forwards to O'Nien, wide, and back to Trey Hume. Hume across to Ballard. Ballard pushes it out to Dan Neil. Neil out wide here again to Hume, forwards to Job. Job back to Hume. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Sunderland 2. We're in the 21st minute. Tomorrow afternoon, of course, we've got Sunderland against Burnley. 2 o'clock build-up for a 3 o'clock kick-off with Razor Ronaldo.
Newcastle.
Sorry, Newcastle against Burnley. Who did I say?
Sunderland.
Sunderland. I'm so.
Well, we could play 2 games in 2 days. It's not a problem.
I'm in the zone. I'm in the zone here. Newcastle against Burnley. Razor's probably had a coronary when he heard that. Apologies, Razor.
Another day off.
Another sleeping giant, Jacob.
Well, we were trying to get you to do the game so Ando could watch the Ryder Cup. And what a day of golf that has been. Here's Clark inside to Pritchard. Pritchard wide on the left on halfway. Just a short pass behind him to Dan Neil. Neil across to O'Nien here. And forwards to Hume in the middle again. Back to O'Nien. And then Dan Neil to Hume. And Sheffield Wednesday struggling to see the ball, get a touch of the ball here, and Jobe picks up a loose ball from George Byers as he tried to win it back. Jobe at the edge of the centre circle rolls it across to Huggins into the Sheffield Wednesday half. Over on that far side, Clark head down, and it's tapped out for a throw, which Clark takes quickly to Huggins, and inside to Dan Neil, and the Sunderland fans in full voice again. Jobe to Pritchard.
23 minutes gone. What's your thoughts? Your thoughts, lads?
Roberts trying to jink away in. He's come inside. He's found Pritchard, who's rolled it out to Hume. First time ball in. Diaby heads it out.
As long as we don't lose.
Clattered down by O'Nien. And a free kick to Sheffield Wednesday. 2-0 Sunderland lead. Here on BBC Radio Newcastle. As Oshish, Barr and Hamir sort of laconically.
Are Sunderland being too casual though? They've got a lot of the ball, but it's in their own half.
Down below, so applauded by the Sunderland fans.
What
Vasquez is pushing the ball out here to
Patterson.
Diaby,
what are you doing?
Patterson, Hume behind him tackles him.
What are you doing, Patterson? For God's sake!
He gets it in front of Famewo. Roberts on the halfway line, back to O'Nien. Forwards again to Jobe, just right at the centre circle.
This is what I mean about getting too complacent, too comfortable.
To Ballard, who scored the first of the two tonight. He gets it again from Neil.
No.
And Ballard out wide to Clark, inside to Clark from Huggins. Back again to O'Nien, forwards to Jobe. Jobe to Roberts. Roberts on the right here, back to O'Nien.
Well, he's on the mushrooms.
Sunderland are playing in second gear at the moment.
Well, I've been looking at Burstow, and I've got to say that he's made some fantastic runs, but he's not getting the ball.
And a poor clearance by
well done.
Patterson goes straight to Buckley, knocked out into touch by O'Nien. And there is a danger, as you did say, that they can get a bit too casual, Sunderland.
They are. You know, why don't you try to get the third goal?
Well, he was.
Yeah. Instead of
he was round mine last night for some pigs trotters.
That's what he's repeating on him.
Yeah, there's a definite sense that they could step up a gear or two here, but content to play at the pace that they're playing at the moment. Throw to Sunderland on the right. Hume back to O'Nien. Gets it back under pressure from Gregory to Patterson. He passes it to Ballard.
Who's got a Sheffield Wednesday t-shirt on?
He's bringing this out and up to Pritchard now on the halfway line on the left. And Clark's made a run. And he's been found by Pritchard. Valentin's gone with him.
Harry Trenholm, hello, my good friend.
My Mackham friend from left of midfield. Just plays the ball back behind him to Ballard.
Team playing well. Prediction 3-0 to the lads. Sheffield Wednesday very away. We're getting carried away, Harry.
But on to Burstow, or Jobe, it is, and Jobe trying to weave in. He's blocked by Byers. It comes back to Hume, to Jobe again. And Byers steps on his foot, Jobe.
Where are you from again, Harry, mate? Where are you from?
Right in front of the referee, Sam Barrett. Sam Barrett, all in black. He was in charge of the opening game of the season, of course, in which he sent
from Sunderland, but
Trey Hume off. 2 yellow cards.
Somewhere, I think.
Here's Neil. And Neil back to O'Nien in the centre circle. And he wheels away from Gregory and then squares the ball to the left to Ballard. Ballard on halfway. A run from Burstow, but the ball was played wide. Out to Huggins. Back behind him, Clark. Clark now turning in, pushing it forwards to Pritchard. Pritchard wide on the left, halfway inside the Sheffield Wednesday half. Back to
don't let them get back into it.
And then back to O'Nien. Neil's calling for it again in the centre circle. And Neil gets it and plays it out to Huggins on the left wing. Down the line, Pritchard tried to get it inside, but Valentin
absolutely palliant, lad. Remember your shot, mate.
Nips in and gets the ball back for Sheffield Wednesday.
Best shot in the North East, Harry.
And then the foul on Pritchard. 2-0 to Sunderland. We're in the 27th minute. Here's O'Nien. You're listening to BBC Radio Newcastle.
No. But as you said before, you made a good point. We've got to stop being polite to teams for 2-0 up. We need to.
And Patterson gets it to Hendrick, out to Buckley on the left here, and Buckley into the middle to Hendrick.
Mr. Barnsley, welcome. Come on, Sunderland, beat our rivals. So far, so good, and good luck to Barnsley.
To Valentin, back
this
to
season.
Bernard.
Massive club,
and Bernard,
Barnsley, absolutely massive
back
club.
again to Diaby, and back to the goalkeeper, Vasquez. And the Colombian plays out to Byers through the middle. George Byers wide here on the left to Buckley, chased by Jobe. Buckley's managing to hold him off at the moment, turns Jobe and then plays the ball behind him to Byers on halfway. And he comes forwards in the blue and white stripes of Sheffield Wednesday, lifts one over the top. It's a stretch for Gregory. Couldn't get his foot on the end of it. Patterson gets it out quickly. Clark then on the left.
It's like a training match.
He's just
like a training
inside
game.
The Sheffield Wednesday half. He's got Huggins wide. He's got Pritchard just in front of him as well. He's gone out wide to the touchline, Clark, and then just over hit it. Just rolled off his foot. It's a throw to Sheffield Wednesday.
I'm just looking down at Tony Mowbray and he's holding his head because he knows that, you know, the tempo's dropped. Everything else, you know, the level, the performance is dropped.
Pritchard trying to win the ball back off Sheffield Wednesday on the far side. It's played down the touchline up to Musaba, and on the halfway line wide on the right, he's trying to work his way through, but it's one back. Huggins to Ballard and forwards to Jobe, back to
Sheffield Wednesday,
Ballard.
The embarrassment of Yorkshire. I've got a Barnsley fan in the chat.
29th
the embarrassment of
minute
Yorkshire.
now. Applause, I'm assuming, for Matty Cusack, but
no, it's for another. I think it's a Sheffield Wednesday supporter.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it? That's the one thing the Sheffield Wednesday fans are united for this evening. As ironically, the owner's name comes up on the electronic advertising boards around the pitch again. Here's Jobe. Out to O'Nien. Down the right wing, leaves it. Tried to leave it for Hume, then gets a little push
Thanks
in the
for the
back.
subscriber.
Thought he was fouled. The referee doesn't. It's a throw to Sheffield Wednesday. Halfway inside their own half on the left. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Sunderland 2. Patterson with the throw.
I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil it.
Onto the head of Gregory.
I'm not going to spoil it.
Joe.
But something important's happened.
Goes out for another throw this time.
Something important's happened in our favour.
His number obliterated by mud now on the back of his shirt. Patterson passes it out to Ballard.
What a turn. What an absolute turn.
Nearly half an hour played. Sunderland 2 up after 8 minutes.
Yeah, you need that. Again, being greedy, you need the third goal.
Lovely turn there, mind.
We all know 2 is a strange
if they were to get one back. Here's Roberts away down the right.
Third goal.
Looking here for Hume, who's got forwards with him. Hume now with Roberts just ahead of him into the. Oh, what a turn by!
Get in!
Great turn.
Diaby caught him. Burstow went to spin round Diaby. He's pulled him down. It's a clear penalty. 31st minute penalty to Sunderland.
He needs to take it. Give him the ball, let him take it, Burstow.
Give him
my prediction's right. I'll still give her a chip, darling.
Do him the world of good.
So, a chance now for Clark's going to take it.
Somewhere, get a chip, darling.
Great turn. Fantastic turn that was.
Beautiful. I mean, he was through. I mean, if he'd not been
tripped,
he would have gone clear through. I think it arguably would have been a goal. Clark then, in the 31st minute, an opportunity to make it 3-0. Jack Clark.
Come on, son.
Just towards the back of the penalty area against Vasquez. Rolls it in the corner. 3-0. Never in doubt. And Jack Clark is again on course for a hat-trick.
Excellent.
His third penalty of the season. 3 out of 3.
Excellent.
Does any of you guys feel sorry for Sheffield Wednesday though?
Sunderland 3.
And I think people are going home already, look. Is that or is it half time?
I guess
they are leaving.
People are leaving.
Look
they're leaving
there,
behind here. They're leaving. I don't think
half an hour into the
these
game
people are going for beverages. They have seen enough. They're on their way out.
Well, I said 3-0. I told you.
Wednesday fans then leaving. They're 3-0 down. And it's quite noticeable, isn't it? The numbers.
Well, I tell you what, if they're quick enough, they'll get the back end of Coronation Street.
Sheffield Wednesday 0, Sunderland 3. And Jack Clark has 2 of them. But here, ball played over the top, looking for...
Gary Bennett just says if the Sheffield Wednesday fans hurry up, we'll catch the end of Coronation Street.
It's either that or they're trying to get the money back.
The Premier League teams will be coming sniffing.
And throw to Sunderland on the right.
Be, yeah.
John Buckley trying to win it. I mean, I don't know what it does for the confidence of the Sheffield Wednesday players. They were beaten 3-0 by Swansea last week. They're 3-0 down already here tonight in the 33rd minute.
Yeah, and again, Nick, maybe we play up a little bit because, you know, we was hearing reports that Sheffield Wednesday are bad and whatever, but you was thinking they cannot be that bad. But
well, they're struggling tonight, aren't they?
Yeah, they're struggling, but let's give a little bit of credit to Sunderland.
Yes, here's Pritchard playing a ball up to the halfway line looking for Clark. It's come back to Huggins and Patterson.
Yeah, we talked about starting the game right, and they have started the game right. And that's what you've got to do.
I mean, their own fans are now singing to the manager, you're getting sacked in the morning. And it's... Sheffield Wednesday is not a place to be at the moment, is it? If you're a Wednesday fan, all going wrong. Here's Hume out to Roberts on the right, back to Hume, and he thought he was manhandled by Gregory, but the referees let it go. And then it's played up to Gregory, but he's tackled by a very persistent O'Nien, but not a great ball then up to the halfway line, and not from O'Nien, Joe, but I think the throw to Sheffield Wednesday for Maywo. It's given away, rolls to Pritchard, who plays it back to O'Nien and forwards to Pritchard again, and he taps it back to Luke O'Nien. O'Nien across to Ballard, and Ballard just with his foot on the ball, and just stands and waits and tries to size up. Where am I going to go with this now? Ballard, who opened the
That's mad,
off
Mr.
just
Barnsley.
5 minutes. And there's Huggins looking for Clark down the right-hand side. Clark inside now to Neil, who finds Pritchard. Pritchard down the left of the penalty area. Low ball in, Burstow! And he didn't really get enough power behind the shot, but it came off a defender as he tried to sweep his left leg round it, and it's a corner to Sunderland. You see what he was trying to do.
Not good for the fans. We have once been in their position. I know, Kirsty, I know.
Pritchard's gone to recover the ball, and still people I can see heading for the exits over on the far side. If I'm assuming, even still 10 minutes before half time, these are people who are leaving, aren't they?
It is indeed, and it's you've got to say, still the manager will be thinking the first 45 minutes is a long 45 minutes. He's got another second half to go through.
Yeah. Here's a corner then from Pritchard on the left. It hangs in the air, punched in the air by Vasquez. Comes out to the edge of the area. O'Nien trying to hook it back in, and then it's hooked away from the corner by Valentin, and right back up through Huggins back to Patterson. And
would you be happy with a point, lads?
To Hume, across to O'Nien. O'Nien then to Ballard. Ballard to Dan Neil. Back to Dan Ballard.
Oh, I missed it. I mean, I've got satellite delay here.
Own half wide to the left to Huggins, to Clark. A run from Huggins. He's sprinting away down the left, trying to get into the corner. Across comes Bernard and puts the ball in the stands.
Just ignore Jacob, will you?
Sunderland on the left. Sunderland leading 3-0. Rusin's going for a little jog with Chris Rigg, or is it Ellis Taylor? Ellis Taylor. Throw back 10 yards up from the corner on the left then. Drops to Pritchard, and it just eludes Huggins the ball back to him, and Wednesday have it back and out wide. A block in the corner by Huggins. It's a goal kick.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to see Sunderland win away. Hey!
And Pritchard will take the throw. No, he won't. He leaves it for Huggins. Huggins back down the line to Clark.
We've got Blackpool tomorrow, 5-1 to Barnsley. I'll keep a check on that score, see if you're right. I might even put it out.
Wednesday half. Huggins inside to Pritchard. Pritchard to Clark. Clark wide. He's got Huggins behind him, and he's done well here to shake off the defender. Still going down the left of the penalty area.
Has he got his own ball?
It seems like it's stuck to his feet. He's finally found Pritchard, and he feigned to shoot. Now he tries to take it into the penalty area, that passes it out to Clark on the far side, and Clark back here to Luke O'Nien in the middle, to Hume, back to O'Nien at the front of the centre circle. He just passes it to Ballard, and Ballard will play it back to Patterson. There was no way through on that occasion. Sunderland lead 3-0 in the 38th minute here at Hillsborough. Maybe Friday night football's not so bad after all. Patterson to Ballard, corner of his own penalty area, back to Patterson. The Olays
So what
and
if
the Sunderland fans behind Patterson's
if Clark carries on the way he's going, I tell you what, the Premier League clubs are going to be sniffing again, aren't they?
him now up to Burstow, back to Dan Neil behind him, and out wide then to Huggins. Burstow makes a run. He called for it to be played over the top, but it's being played out to the wing again, and back inside to Pritchard.
Team that smells a horse manure called Newcastle United.
Forwards to Roberts, out to Job on the right.
Sunderland Newcastle.
Then Hume trying to get it forwards to Pritchard, Byers and Hendrick, and back to Diaby for Sheffield Wednesday, who try and get the ball over on the far side to Valentin, who's headed it out for a throw to Sunderland. 3-0 up. Here's Dan Neil. Wide, Huggins back to Ballard, left of the Sunderland penalty area, played into Anthony Patterson. Patterson back out to Ballard on the far side. Ballard dribbling out, and then playing it off to the left wing again to Huggins. He's lifted it over, the run of Burstow. Takes it down well. Burstow now. He's got support inside with Clark.
Apart from league positions, and stuff, it's like, how come it's so easy to score like 3 goals so quick against Sheffield Wednesday? It was such a struggle against Cardiff. Would you say Sheffield Wednesday have played more attacking football than what Cardiff have?
Out to the left here, and it's straight to Hume.
Meaning the more open at the back.
And it's laid off by Musaba, who wants it back from Patterson. Musaba's cut out to the wide left here, and is going to try and come in past Hume, who puts a foot through it for a throw to Sheffield Wednesday. Musaba takes it back to Famewo. He's trying to get forwards. He gets away from Burstow, and then out wide left he's found Patterson. Patterson's cross blocked by Hume. Throw to Sheffield Wednesday. Just over.
Do you know what I'm going to do to stop me from getting copyrights?
In the middle.
Yes, I'm going to see if I can emulate the goals.
Diaby,
yeah, absolutely. That's the second one. But I'm going to see if I can copy the goals on FIFA. I'm going to see if I can like replicate the goals on FIFA.
Through the middle.
Yeah.
It's played to.
Thank you. Stop being sarcastic. Wish me luck.
Musaba, and it's won back by Sunderland, and Pritchard out to Clark on the left-hand side. Clark.
Well, I'll be able to get the goal.
Back to Huggins on halfway, wide on the left. Huggins forwards again to Clark.
Very well.
Just inside the Sheffield Wednesday half, inside to Neil. Lovely ball to Clark down the left-hand side. Clark trying to work it back again to Huggins. Huggins inside to Dan Neil. Sunderland 3-0 up. Dan Neil back across to O'Nien on the right. He's got Job in support. Here's Job on the right in front of Tony Mowbray. Back to Hume, and then to Ballard.
Yeah, I do agree, Harry. Absolutely. Harry just said, I think we lost concentration in the final seconds against Cardiff. Otherwise, we dominated the game from start to finish.
Burstow. He's done well here.
Well done,
he's under pressure from Diaby, but he's got it back.
Excellent play.
To Ballard. He held him off, and he's a big unit. Bambo Diaby, 6'2", strongly built. Here's Dan Neil again. He lifts one up over, looking for Job, but blocked by Famewo, and it's back to Vasquez, the goalkeeper. So Sheffield Wednesday 0, Sunderland 3 as we approach half-time. And Vasquez puts his right foot through it. O'Nien's got his eye on it. Gregory
I'd like to see Russian come on.
Hume's got in front of Patterson. Comes back to Patterson, the other one, with 2 T's.
Darling.
Callum Patterson has 1 T. But here,
how many sugars?
I'm not sure actually. A lovely little shimmy. Oh, and Clark goes round another and tripped by Buckley. Lovely
card.
shimmy to go around one, and then Buckley caught him. He was looking to break from his own half. Pritchard takes the free kick. Back it comes to Anthony Patterson with 2 T's. Out to O'Nien, out to Roberts on the right. And he just shakes off Musaba, and looking for the gap here now on the right for Job. And Job has Burstow in the middle. He's in the penalty area on the right-hand side, Job. Just a little flick through to Roberts, and then Roberts comes out and then tries to turn, gets to the goal line, then comes back out and gets it back to Job. Job wide on the right, comes back here to O'Nien, and he plays it into the centre circle and through it, actually. And it'll be Huggins who jogs back and gets the ball for...
No, hell with that. We've had our struggles. It's time for us to shine.
Ballard in the centre of his own half, plays it across to Huggins on the left-hand side.
Playman.
And Pritchard tries to get the ball down the left. There's a chase for Huggins. I think it's gone out behind.
I want to look. I want to look at the league. I want to look at the league table, but every time I look at the league table, it does something to the scoreline. It jinxes it.
Wasn't it? Got winded on the far side. It's on his knees at the moment. The referee's come back for a word. See what
we're back in 4th position.
Ball's back with Vasquez, the Sheffield Wednesday goalkeeper. Burstow's back up on his feet, and play will resume.
It's interesting, Nick. You know, you're going back, what, 2 seasons ago, how close these 2 teams were. Because in the playoffs, we come here, got a great result.
That miraculous sort of late Roberts goal.
Yeah, you know, huge gap now, isn't there?
Yeah, and then they were strong through the League One season. That incredible end to the season.
My mate Jess Webbs has just said Sheffield Wednesday are SHIT. We could match the mag score from last week.
Statements he keeps making, these great long screeds, these essays he writes, and he's effectively cutting himself off from the fans. Here's Job, gets the ball back to O'Nien, back here to Ballard, forwards to Clark in his own half, back to O'Nien. 45th minute, we're in the last minute of the first half, and here's Hugh.
Oh, a bit dumb.
A little
sloppy.
It's flicked back up off O'Nien. He's managed to recover and gets the ball across the face of Gregory to Ballard. And Ballard brings this up through the middle again. And Clark is in the middle. Hendrick is on his shoulder. Clark a little bit sluggish that time. Burstow didn't quite expect the ball through from Clark, and it's come back to Bernard. He has been. I guess he's probably a bit frustrated because he kept making them, and nobody's trying to pick him out. But he's on the left here now, Burstow, and he's rolled it in to the penalty area to Dan Neal, and Neal looks up, and it's a corner. He's played it off Hendrick, I think, behind for a corner. Didn't have many options there. Nobody really coming in behind him, Dan Neal, so he did the best thing available to him. That was to play it off a defender. So Pritchard strolling down to the left.
I've got 7 minutes for 990 to 1 odds.
And this corner is Sunderland's 4th. They scored from their first. Pritchard then. He's got Burstow. He's got Job in the penalty area, back of the penalty spot. In comes the swinging ball to Ballard.
Yeah, good look, David.
Towards the top corner, but it's landed on the roof of the net. And he was most certainly trying to place that in that top corner, but just a little bit too much height on it. The keeper would have got to it.
He would have got to it, but I think Dan Ballard now, especially from set plays, corner kicks, he thinks that he's going to score every time he comes up.
Yeah, 2 balls on the pitch.
Another free header.
Patterson's arguing with his bench. He's gesticulating, waving his arm about and fingers a lot. Vasquez with this goal kick. The players over on this near side. We've had 1 minute of the 3.
Man of the match. It's close between. It's close between Clark and Ballard.
Inter Milan.
It's AC Milan. He's on loan from.
Is that the Italian club AC Milan or a local Sunday
league team? On that occasion, Patterson gave him the thumbs up.
You know, it's little things like that, Nick, which are frustrating, aren't you? You know, kicking the ball out of play.
Yeah. Ballard is making Huggins work hard to keep it in on the far side. Plays it back to Ballard, who hooks it away from the advancing 2 Sheffield Wednesday players. Gregory and Buckley. It's come back here in the centre
Well
circle, and Burster's worked hard here to get it out wide to Robertson inside. He takes it away from Patterson, and he's going to shoot. And soft.
He fancied that one. Patrick, behave.
Yeah, it didn't curl. He didn't get the curl on it. It's gone headed straight away into the back.
It was a terrible first touch he had, wasn't it?
Okay, 1 minute. 1 minute.
Sheffield Wednesday be relieved it's not 4-0. We're in the last minute of the first half.
He can't kick this one out.
And Vasquez again, all the players again over towards this near side. He's driven this more central this time onto the head of Dan Neil. He nods it down to Huggins. Huggins just in his own half still, back to Ballard. We've got about 20 seconds left. Huggins takes Neil takes this on. Sorry, it was Huggins, back to Neil. In fact, back to Clark, who's snuck in front of him. Clark back behind him, Ballard, and out wide then to Huggins on the halfway line. Back again to Ballard, and he plays it back to Anthony Patterson. Seconds left of the first half. Be interesting to see how many Sheffield Wednesday fans come back for the second half. There's your half-time report. Granted by the Sheffield Wednesday fans who roundly boo Sam Barrett's half-time whistle, because Sunderland are 3-0 up, deservedly so. They've played largely in second gear. On another occasion, you could have seen if they'd stepped up a gear, they could have been 4 or 5 up.
They could have easily been 4 or 5 up, and it's disappointing to see a Sheffield Wednesday team. And yeah, Sunderland, shall we say, are in second gear, but Sheffield Wednesday, they're all over the place. Yeah. They are all over the place, and if they don't step it up in the second half, you can see Sunderland going on and getting another 2 or 3 goals, hopefully.
Well, we talk about goal difference sometimes. It'd be great for the goal difference if Sunderland could extend its a +7 at the moment, but it's very similar to the teams around and about them. Leicester's +9, Ipswich is +7, Preston's +7, Hull's 5, Leeds 6. So they could do with, you know, nudging themselves into a slight advantage in terms of goals. But Jack Clark again, unplayable. When he gets in the mood, sometimes there's no stopping him.
Well, what we've seen of him this season, Nick, he's been excellent, and you can understand why there's a lot of Premier League clubs who want him on board. You know, the form what he's in at the present moment, you know, he's got that confidence that he's going to score. You know, every fullback he's come up against is giving him a hard time.
Well, I wonder what's going to develop in the second half. I mean, there's a licence for Tony Mowbray in a way to allow the likes of Oshish and Rusin, Rigg players. He's got an opportunity now at 3-0.
He has got an opportunity.
The game is secure.
He's got an opportunity.
Switch things about.
Yeah, let's be professional about it as well, in regards of, yeah, it's 3-0. You know, if I was Tony Mowbray, let's see if we can go and get the 4th or go and get the 5th. Yeah, maybe the last half an hour or 25 minutes you can make changes, but see if we can get more goals. See if we can keep a clean sheet.
We want more goals. That is our message for the second half. We'll have that live, of course, on safc.com and BBC Radio Newcastle at half-time at Hillsborough. It is Sheffield Wednesday 0, Sunderland 3.
Total Sport North East.
Dee's just removed a spider from my hair. Thank you for that, Dee.
You're welcome. The football season is up and running.
It's good to be back.
Once again, BBC Radio Newcastle will bring you every Newcastle United and Sunderland game live.
The Champions League is coming over the horizon.
We'll have commentary of women's football in the North East
as we showcase women's football,
alongside our Falcons and Durham cricket commentaries.
Don't forget, you could have your say on the match with Newcastle and Sunderland legends John Anderson and Marco Gabbiadini.
I've been on the golf course, but I wouldn't say there was much golf played.
What were you doing?
Just walking around looking for golf balls.
Great sport kicks off here.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Sunderland are winning 3-0 at Sheffield Wednesday at half-time. Dan Ballard and a couple from Jack Clark, which means that Sunderland's goal difference is now +10 as it stands, and the best in the division. Will be back with Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett shortly for the full commentary of the second half. And almost literally no other games of note tonight to bring you the latest scores from, with the exception of one in Northern League Division 2. Sunderland West End at home to Chesterley Street Town tonight. They have just resumed their second half because they kicked off at 7:45, and it is still goalless. It's all happening tomorrow football-wise, but we'll come back to that shortly, because from today, first of all, Durham rounded off their county championship season with a very impressive innings and 140-run win against Leicestershire in Chesterley Street this afternoon. The Foxes were trailing by 314 when they started the second innings, and they were then all out for 173. After the match, Durham were awarded the second division trophy in front of an exuberant crowd. Coach Ryan Campbell says his players were ruthless throughout the summer. It's hard to disagree with him, and he's been speaking to our cricket commentator Martin Emerson.
Pretty impressive, wasn't it? You know, at the end of the day, I've probably run out of words of saying how good this team has been all year, but the pleasing thing for me is, despite the fact that, you know, everything had been achieved, they were ruthless and they played the template that we've always enjoyed. You know, score fast and then put immense pressure on the batters, and, you know, that just didn't relent. And yeah, very, very proud of this group.
When you look at the amount of overs lost, I think something like 1,200 overs lost this last year. As you go through games an average of 4.5 runs and over, there's 5,000 runs that never happened. That's how crazy things have been this year.
Yeah, it's been exciting, hasn't it? It's look, at the end of the day, we brought a brand of cricket that we thought could stand up and be very tough for opposition to go against. That takes some risks and some bravery, but like I say, I'm just so pleased that these guys just never relented. They just wanted to go about and they wanted to win games of cricket for the North East. They didn't care if they lost. It was more about, okay, how are we going to win? Like I say, we stand here very, very happy.
Yeah, with the bat, 5 centuries for Alex Lees, 5 centuries for David Bedingham. Everybody chipped in. There were centuries from number 1 to number 8. And then with the ball, you know, 60 championship wickets in a season for Ben Rain for the first time. Matthew Potts with, I think, 54. They did their part as well.
Yeah, look, the individual honours can be seen. It's very clear, and hopefully that, you know, the freedom they've all enjoyed has resulted in them taking and making runs, taking wickets, doing all those sort of things. So, but I think there's a lot of unsung heroes amongst that as well. You know, you throw in the Graham Clarks or Bryden Cast with the bat, or Buster Later in his first year with the bat. You know, all these guys stepped up at certain times to make sure when games could go either way, someone stood up every single time, and that's very, very pleasing to see.
I mean, there's been many highlights. Anything that really sticks in your head?
Oh, look, again, there has been, but to me, I'm going to say that, you know, the season of Graham Clark, I think, will go down for me as probably the highlight for me, because it's a guy that, you know, we took a risk, but I think I felt that if it came off, the reward was going to be so much bigger. Not just about the amount of runs, but the feeling in the player group. If a guy like Graham, who is the heart and soul of Durham cricket, if he can succeed, everyone's going to basically lift on that. And to see what he's done this year has been so pleasing.
Now, I think you said the other day he thought this was his last season. He was planning a career as a cricket coach, so it just shows how things have turned around for him.
Yeah, well, hopefully he's got a couple more years in him left. So, but again, you know, everyone's going to be tested next year. It's going to get harder and harder. But I'm just so pleased for some of these guys who have tasted second division cricket, but now they're going to go up even to a harder competition. And, you know, our youngsters have also had a bit of a taste of it, and they're going to have to improve as well. So we got some hard work to do, but at the moment we're just going to enjoy the moment and have a few beers and celebrate.
Finally, as an honorary son of the North East, what did that mean to you at the end there, the presentation in front of the supporters?
Mate, so good. It's, you know, the North East, since I've come here, they've made my family feel at home. You know, from being a Perth boy, you're kind of away from everyone else, and the North East gives that same sort of feel. So, look, it's been a fantastic turnout. We're just so happy that we could finish in the sunshine in front of a home crowd.
Yeah, they thoroughly deserved it, and he has thoroughly deserved it as well. Congratulations once again to Ryan Campbell and to Durham, Division 2 champions in the County Championship, and they will of course therefore be playing next season in Division 1. I mentioned that all the football, apart from Sunderland, is tomorrow, and it starts early tomorrow as well, because South Shields, managed by the former Sunderland player Julio Arca, of course, are away to Leek Town in the third qualifying round of the FA Cup. It is live to watch on the iPlayer, the Red Button, and the BBC Sport website and app from 12:30. Here is Julio Arca speaking to Luke North's Jeff Brown, starting with how he's enjoying management so far.
It's going well. luckily we have a good start of the season, and we position ourselves in a good position in the table. So yes, things going well at the moment. Obviously this weekend we concentrate in a different competition that we're looking forward to.
How tough has it been stepping into management? I suppose if it's going well, then it's pretty easy.
Well, it's a bit stressful, if I have to be honest. When you are a player, you more or less have everything done for you. As a manager, you have to prepare everything for the players, So, but look, I've been lucky that we have a great group of players in here. Some of the players been here for a while, and also what helps is that I know the club, I know the people working in the club. Obviously, I played for the club many years, so obviously that helps.
What about this weekend then? FA Cup live on the BBC?
Yeah, great for the club, for the players, for everyone involved in the club. It's ideal to stay in this competition as long as we can, and obviously being on TV is an extra thing that we're happy to be involved.
Different challenge for you though. You'll go in as favourites and you're playing on AstroTurf.
Yes, it's a different challenge, but we noticed a couple of weeks ago when we play Bishop Auckland, a few leagues down from us, and they basically put a good performance and they compete very well. So I played in this competition before. Nothing is easy. Even when you are favourite, you need to take things in a serious way. Just basically try to do the same thing we were doing in the league. Hopefully we get good results.
I was going to say, FA Cup semi-final with Sunderland is probably up there with one of your sort of best and worst memories.
Yeah, definitely. Shame that we didn't get to the final that year, but it was a great experience for us to play the semi-final in Old Trafford. Obviously for the fans to get there, disappointed obviously that day. But yeah, it's a great competition that anything can happen. Teams down in the league could beat teams up in the league. So as I say before, when you relax a little bit, things might not go in a way. So that's why we need to take this game as we've been taking the last 10 games.
Yeah, so good luck to South Shields tomorrow. A reminder, it is live to watch on the iPlayer, their game at Leaktown, on the iPlayer, the red button, and the BBC Sport website from 12:30. And then Newcastle United have the novelty, it's a real novelty, of a Saturday 3 o'clock kickoff. They're at home to Burnley tomorrow. The build-up will be with Matthew Raisbeck and John Anderson from 2. Now, Newcastle's last league game, of course, saw them put 8 past Sheffield United, but head coach Eddie Howe will not be reading much into that anymore.
Not get crazy on the scoreline. I think for us it was a great day. It was a great day for our supporters, a great day to share with them. I was really pleased with some of the goals and some of our football. But it's like anything. It's like if you lose, as we just went through 3 games where we didn't win, and that was difficult, but we don't get too low in those moments. You analyse it objectively. When you lose a game, everything's not bad. There's some really good bits. There's obviously some bits you have to improve. You feed that back to the players. It's the same when you win 8-0. Not everything was perfect. There's stuff we needed to do better. And I think that's very much my method of work. Obviously, attached to that is how everyone feels about the situation, about what you're trying to deliver, and that changes based on results, but I don't think your attitude to it can.
And finally, Burnley, all 3 promoted sides are yet to win in the Premier League, and clearly it's been a tough introduction for them back into the top flight, but they seem to be doing things a bit differently to how they did before they were relegated. How will taking on this Burnley compared to the Burnley of old be different for you?
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. They're doing it very differently.
Have you seen another Sheffield club?
There's no right or wrong, of course. You can do it loads of different ways.
I think they from Oz
will always stick, from what I see, to their current model of playing. I've got to say it was hugely impressive last year what they did. The goals they scored, the games they won, and the style that they did it in was great to watch. We played Burnley last pre-season, and we had 2 really good games with 2 different 11s at the same time, and it was a really good game, and got to speak to Vincent after the game and his staff, and what they did following that game was, as I say, a credit to them. Great to see Burnley doing well, great to see them back in the Premier League. It will be very different to previous Burnley teams who were very effective in a different way, but they're going to want the ball and we're going to want the ball, so it's going to be a really big challenge for us, but one hopefully we can rise to.
Yeah, looking forward to that one as well tomorrow. Newcastle United against Burnley, a 3 o'clock kickoff. Matthew Reay.
No, it's not me. I've just unmuted myself now.
Also live at both of our other FA Cup matches that kick off at 3 o'clock to bring you updates throughout the afternoon. So Paul Dixon is going to be at Whitby with
somebody took
Town,
my job.
and Dom James is going to be at Croft Park watching Blythe Spartans take on Worksop Town. Gateshead are also at Bromley in the National League. And as if that wasn't enough, also at 3 o'clock, our first rugby union commentary of the season as well. Newcastle Falcons away to Leicester Tigers in the Premiership Cup at 2:45. Well, the coverage starts at 2:45. The kickoff is at 3, but it's time for us to head back to Hillsborough because Sunderland 3-0 up at Sheffield Wednesday at the break. Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett back with full commentary of the second half in just a moment.
Half-time highlights.
Total Sport Northeast.
BBC
Bloody hell,
Radio
Aston Villa
Newcastle.
under-21s 2, Sunderland 3.
Far post, it's in!
Excellent goal.
Sunderland score, Ballard comes through the middle, heads home in the 5th minute. Sunderland take the lead. Dan Ballard gets up there, his break from the back of the penalty area, headed in past Vasquez.
Apparently Jack Clark got the third for Sunderland under-21s. He's getting a helicopter to just pick the ship
ball
into the
over
ground.
the top and down the left for Clark, takes it down. He's got support with Dan Neal in the middle. Still going, Pritchard at the edge of the area. Clark shot. Oh! Jack Clark. 2-0. What a finish. What a turn by Burstow. It's gone down, it's a penalty.
Great turn.
Diarby caught him. Burstow went to spin round Diarby. He's pulled him down. It's a clear penalty. Jack Clark.
Come on, son.
Just towards the back of the penalty area against Vasquez. Rolls it in the corner. 3-0.
Total Sport Northeast.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett, MBE.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
We are 8 seconds underway. It's still 3-0.
Darling?
Just in case you thought in those 8 seconds someone may have extended their lead. No changes to either team at half-time.
I can't believe that. You know, if I was Sheffield Wednesday manager, you would have thought you'd make changes, wouldn't you?
Yes, I don't know what that was. But he hasn't made any changes.
So he must have been happy with the 11 what started the game.
Have they gone 4 at the back, actually, Sheffield Wednesday? All played up over the top, Burstow chases, and it's come back to Vasquez, the goalkeeper. Vasquez in goal. No, I think they've gone back the 3. Bernard, Diarby and Famewo. Valentin, Hendrick, Byers, Patterson, and then the front 3 of Buckley, Gregory and Musaba. Sunderland defending the Spion Kop end of Hillsborough, and that is noticeably half the number of fans in that stand than there were in the first half. And likewise, the stand opposite, I would guess, half the number of fans in that stand now for the second half. Someone did tell me at half-time that they poked their head out the front and there's people outside the stadium. They've left. But here goes Roberts away down the right-hand side. Clark in the middle. The flag has stayed down. Roberts is still going in the penalty area. Left foot shot blocked. And it breaks for Pritchard on the corner of the penalty on the left-hand side. And there were Sheffield Wednesday fans crying offside around behind us. And the ball just will appear to go out behind. It did in the end. The flag comes up. Huggins takes it over the goal line. Patterson in goal, Hume, Ballard, O'Nien and Huggins, Neil, Joe, Roberts, Pritchard with his 100th appearance, Clark and Burstow.
I'll tell you what, if we scored a 4th goal, we'll empty this stadium.
Pritchard's due a goal. I wonder. Goal kick then for Sheffield Wednesday, taken by their Colombian on loan from AC Milan. And he manages to get it onto the head of Patterson this time on the left-hand side, and he keeps it in. And now Pritchard's won it, and he's going to try and get away down the right wing. It's pushed back onto the halfway line, comes back to O'Nien, forwards to Joe, back to O'Nien inside their own half. Dan Neal here in the middle, bringing this out wide, then left to Huggins and Clark. Just kept it in. Back onto the halfway line, and Neal inside to Job. Job under pressure from John Buckley, back to Ballard. O'Nien, he's bringing this up over halfway, then just a short pass to Hume, or Roberts, sorry, and then to Pritchard. Back to O'Nien, Pritchard, and Pritchard back to O'Nien, wide. Pritchard again. This time his pass forwards has gone astray. For Maywo back to Diarby, and the goalkeeper lifts the kick over Burstow onto the head of Ballard in the centre circle to Job, and out to Huggins, back to Job on halfway, and he plays it through the centre circle to O'Nien, who stabs it up to Burstow, and Burstow now to Hume and out to Roberts. Roberts twists away from Patterson, and still going, Roberts. Oh, he's sprinted away down into the penalty area on the right-hand side, still going, and he's forced a corner. Tried to chip it over into the open net from an angle, but off a defender. And a fifth.
I've got some socials here if you want them for half time.
In the 49 minutes played in the 50th minute. Pritchard strolling away with Roberts.
I think Patterson was wondering, where's he gone?
Oh, do you want to watch the corner, yeah?
One of the Sunderland fans in that end. It's just
yeah. I'll let you watch the corner.
And Roberts is over there with him. He feigned to take a short, quick corner then, but he didn't. He's replaced the ball. Pritchard, I think he's going to float this in as they look to break from the back of the
great effort from the lads, so many plus points, but for me, Dan Neil is making the team tick. What a player he's turning into. Play time at the training ground on this, like Clark half time, 7-0 whole time. Ayushi scores, Russian and Hamer both on, and Bart if he comes on. A lot of people saying 8-0. Got to bring our two strikers on now, get confidence. A lot of people are saying, get some subs on, get the new lads on.
Played back by Clark in his own half to Anthony Patterson. Still 3-0 here at Hillsborough. It's the 51st.
But Clark wants his hat-trick. He
Ballard
deserves his hat-trick.
Huggins and on to Clark. Got a shove in the back from Patterson. It's a free kick to Sunderland. Cisco is down there below us trying to G up his players. Free kick is taken. Job just behind the centre circle out to Pritchard on the right hand side.
Thanks for the subscriber. Thank you.
Dan Neil to Pritchard. Job again in the centre circle. Wide to Clark. A run from Huggins. Clark goes back though and finds Job. And back to Ballard. Ballard across to Luke O'Nien on the far side. He plays it back to Patterson at the edge of the penalty area. Taps it out to Ballard. Ballard trying to find the run of Burstow through the middle. Diaby heads it away. Picked up though by Hume, who leaves it off to Huggins. Clark on the overlap, but Huggins goes back to Hume, then out to Huggins again and tackles Clark.
I like Ballard.
And Clark just pushes it back to Hume into Job. Tackled though by Gregory.
He's a rock at the back.
To Patterson and back to the goalkeeper. Being closed down by Burstow. He drives the ball out, up over the halfway line. Offside. And the flag is up. Offside on Lee Gregory. And a free kick, which is, well, I don't think it was actually ever taken. It's just, ball has just resumed its course from the wing into the middle and up to Burstow on halfway. And now Hume on the right-hand side. Wide again. Roberts back to O'Nien. And it's almost like a training game.
It is like a training game, and that's why I'm surprised he didn't make any changes. And nothing's changed in the second half, has it?
Stray pass
for
Sheffield Wednesday. Comes back to Famewo. Back again to him from Buckley's. Found Buckley again for Mayo, but Pritchard's trying to get in front of him. Buckley's on
I don't think I've ever seen such a one-sided game away from home featuring Sunderland in a long time.
Flicks it out into the
away from home.
Hoardings, throw taken, comes back here to Bernard, the
us
international.
Us on the offence.
Began his career with
us
Chelsea
on the offence.
As a young lad, and then went to Manchester United. Here's for Mayo, swinging it out to the right again, looking for Patterson, and he used his fist this time to try and keep it in, and it's a free kick to Sunderland. Right in front of Tony Mowbray. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Sunderland 3. We're in the 53rd minute here on BBC Radio Newcastle.
74% possession from Sunderland, that's mad.
3 o'clock kickoff, 2 o'clock build-up with Razor and Ando. The ball out wide. Roberts in the Sheffield Wednesday half. Into the middle to Job. Back to Ballard in the centre circle and to Huggins on the left here. Huggins to Pritchard. Pritchard back into Job. Job to Dan Neil at the front of the centre circle. O'Nien just behind him. The Roberts Wide again.
You know, looking at this match
Roberts.
tonight, it just shows you how far Sunderland have come on compared to Sheffield Wednesday. I couldn't think we were in the same league as them
Dan Neil picked it up
not long ago.
He's made the run down the wing, and the ball hooked away from him by Patterson, I think, but it's a throw to Sunderland when the ball eventually drops down from the stand. 20 yards from the corner on the right, then this Sunderland throw. Drops to Pritchard, gets it back again, tried to get it forward to Robertson. To Hume, his cross, headed out by Diaby, only as far as Dan Neil. He's tackled, and Dan Neil penalised, I think, for just leaping in a little bit too vigorously. It's a free kick to Sheffield Wednesday in the left centre of the Sheffield Wednesday half, 55th minute. Here the Sunderland fans away to our left, and those two tiers of the Leppings Lane end. Vasquez with the kick from the free kick up towards Gregory and out to the left. Patterson trying to get to Byers. Now Gregory at the edge of the penalty area, back through to Patterson from Byers. He crosses, looking over the shoulder on the right hand side. Here's Valentin. He plays the ball back to Famewo. Famewo makes a run, plays it square now to the edge of the area. Musaba can't get his foot through it, and the shot in the end from Patterson sails over the crossbar from 18 yards. 3-0 still then to Sunderland into the 56th minute, and Anthony Patterson is going to leave the goal kick to Ballard from the left. He passes it back to Patterson, and then out.
We're going to win, says Jeff Pollitt.
Back to Ballard. Ballard drives it up to Clark on the left wing here. Lovely ball through here for Burstow. He's onside. He's wide. He's got support in the centre. Roberts is up there. Job is in the middle. Pritchard here, just outside the penalty area. Slips it through here, and Job trying to just flick it back for Burstow, but too many blue and white shirts around him, and they get the ball clear here, Sheffield Wednesday, and trying to take it away down the right wing. Out to Bernard, back inside to Valentin. He's trying to make a run into the penalty area on the right, crosses, it drops for Patterson, brings it down, great save by Patterson, Anthony Patterson from Callum Patterson, put back in by Byers, and out here to Clark. A bit of a wake-up call for Sunderland. Clark away here now though, he's played it out to Pritchard on the left.
Look at the far side.
And there's players streaming up towards the edge of the penalty area. Roberts makes a run into the box, takes it round the keeper, a little bit wide. In the end it's hooked away by Byers into touch. Got a little bit too far forwards, and the angle was too acute. Tried to play it back into someone running in onto it.
Oh!
Cleared it. But Callum Patterson's chance.
Good save.
Good save by Anthony Patterson. The two tees were better than the one tee, and it's still 3-0 to Sunderland. Pritchard plays the ball into the edge of the penalty area. George Byers clears it, and it's out for a Sunderland throw. Still then 3-0 and the ball back in the Sunderland half. O'Nien in the middle. We're in the 58th minute, and he pushes it on to Job in the centre circle.
They've got so much space, Sunderland, at the moment.
Yeah, it's opening up. Pritchard on the left, Clark wide of him. Pritchard still going, he just slips it in here to Burstow, back behind him to Job. Job told to shoot, only just wide.
Unlucky.
And Burstow's whipping up the supporters behind the goal. They all applaud him.
Good layoff there by Burstow.
Yeah, it is becoming a bit more open, isn't it? Sunderland are getting a bit more width. Goal kick then for Sheffield Wednesday. There are seemingly less people in the stand opposite and away to our right, but see what develops. 3-0 Sunderland lead in the 59th minute. Throw to Sunderland over on the far side. Hume takes it back to O'Nien, and the route back to Anthony Patterson's denied him. There's a foul by Gregory. It's a free kick to Sunderland. Back to Anthony Patterson, across to...
I would still keep Clark on.
That trio again of Aushish, Hamir and Barr to warm up. Dan Neil.
I think Burstow's had a good...
Across to the right, O'Neill.
Burstow's had a good game.
To Roberts to try and just sweep up into the Sheffield Wednesday half. It falls for O'Neill. He's in the middle. Plays it to the left here to Huggins and wide to Clark in the Sheffield Wednesday half. He's taken them on again down the left of the penalty area, but Valentin gets the better of him this time. Gets the ball out here wide to Musaba. He runs or tries to get past Dan Neil, and he has done. And Musaba's still going, but back comes Job to get in front of him there. Shoulder to shoulder down the right of the penalty area, and Job just pokes it behind for a corner. Sheffield Wednesday's second corner of the game. Down away to our right, and I think Buckley's going to take it. John Buckley, the 23-year-old. It's 3 goals he scored for Blackburn this season, all in the League Cup, before his move on loan to Sheffield Wednesday.
Good old Birds tour.
This corner for Sheffield Wednesday, and Buckley launches it towards the penalty spot, and it's headed out by Burstow, and now put back in again. And headed away by Ballard, and it's going to drop, is it, on the goal line and behind for a goal kick. It came off a Sheffield Wednesday player in the box. And we watch Anthony Passon just pass the ball out to Hume on the right, the 61st minute. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Sunderland 3. We've had no goals as yet in the second half. And Job won't reach a ball that's just knocked down the touchline and out for a Sheffield Wednesday throw. Over on the far side, drops to Buckley, and then off Hume into the stand, in which there are noticeably more empty seats now. And a throw for Sheffield Wednesday, back to Bambo Diaby. The Senegalese plays it out to the Jamaican, Dishon Bernard. Tries to get it through, comes off the hand of Pritchard. Free kick to Sheffield Wednesday. It's just lost its shape a bit, the game. And up towards Callum Patterson, looking for Buckley on the left, trying to cut inside, but Hume tackles him. Job now with it through the middle. And he's brought down, is he? No, the referee says not, by George Byers. And then it's played through into the penalty area, and O'Neill hooks it away. Out to Roberts on the right-hand side of midfield, back onto the corner of the penalty area to Hume, who drives it out to Pritchard. Pritchard to Burstow, lays it off now, trying to get Roberts away, but he's fouled just inside the Sunderland half. The referee has got a yellow card out, and Diaby's evening.
Take Roberts and Clark off, they need to remain injury-free.
He's now shown a yellow card. First yellow card of the evening, shown to Diaby by Sam Barrett. Hume stands with his hands on his hips in front of the referee who sent him off on the opening day, and taps the free kick back to Luke O'Neill.
We'll have your son learn.
Short pass
Way do.
to Dan Neil. Back from the centre circle to Ballard, across to O'Neill, and then to Hume again on the right. Into Dan Neil in the middle. And Huggins on the left, back to Dan Neil. It's given away though. Gregory's run onto it, but he took it out. And throw back to Ballard. Ballard. Musaba goes to close him down, but Ballard across to O'Neill, and then out wide to Hume. Hume and Roberts on that right side, but eventually back to Anthony Patterson.
Not far from Middlesbrough.
He kicks it out here on the left, looking for Huggins. Spins up off him. On his shoulder is Gregory. Comes back to Ballard at the edge of the area. There's going to be a change. Aushish is going to come on think Barr might be going to come on as well. So it's going to be at least a double change by Tony Mowbray. And ball across on the right, at the back, just push back to Patterson and then out again to Roberts. Roberts leaves it for O'Nien. O'Nien back to.
Have we got Leicester
Anthony
next, have we?
Patterson. And I
Have
guess
we got
I think
Leicester
these
City
changes
next?
might be a good thing actually, just to re-inject the game with
Watford at
some
home.
pace. Comes back to Ballard here on the
Oh,
left-hand
I've got
side.
Watford at home then. Yeah, 2 home games, Watford and Middlesbrough.
And played across the back of the penalty area to O'Nien. Forwards to Hume on the halfway line on the right.
Oh, and our bogey team,
And he plays
Swansea
it
on the
back again
4th.
to O'Nien. Gets it back again from Dan Neil here to Ballard and out to Huggins on the left. Huggins to Pritchard. Pritchard closed down. Strong challenge in his back by Bernard. Gets himself up quickly. Back to Patterson. Out to O'Nien and Dan Neil.
One team will never beat is Swansea.
And O'Nien's under pressure from Buckley.
They're
Back
a
to
horrible
Anthony
side to
Patterson.
play, are they?
Plays it out on the right-hand side to Hume, who's under pressure, but he leaves it for O'Nien. And to Hume again, and he plays it out to touch. So struggling for a bit of shape at the moment, the game. We're in the 65th minute. Sunderland.
And
well,
these are
they lead
substitutions
comfortably 3-0.
coming on. It's
Sheffield
Pritchard
Wednesday have
off,
this
Roberts
throw.
off, Abdullah Bar
Cop is,
and
noticeably
Ashish
more empty
is
as
coming
well.
on.
Buckley gets it back out on the left to
Pritchard
Callum
and
Patterson,
Roberts and
trying to get in here on the left of the penalty.
and
A low
Bart and
ball in is
Ashish.
stabbed away by Hume to Pritchard. The outlet is Burstow, but he's
Ashish
beaten
had
to
a
it
hell
by
of a game for the
Diaby.
under-21s.
And now it's played down straight to Roberts on the touchline. He runs into a Sheffield Wednesday man who knocks it out for a Sunderland throw. And are we going to get the changes made now by
I'd imagine Roberts
Sunderland?
will come off.
Do you think Roberts, yeah.
I'd imagine Roberts will come off.
66 minutes in. Roberts indeed is coming off. Barr is his replacement. And Pritchard is the other player coming off. And now Sheesh is his replacement. So Roberts not in any particular hurry. Applauding the Sunderland fans. Got in behind a couple of times, but didn't really get into the game, I don't think, Roberts, tonight. Not as we know that he can. Pritchard comes off here now. Sheesh comes on. So 2 to freshen things up.
That was
Barr
dirty,
goes out on
that,
the right.
like.
Now Sheesh in the middle. It's a throw for Sunderland. Halfway inside their own half in the 67th minute on the right-hand side. And drops here for Barr. Gets his first touches and gives the ball away to Buckley.
Yeah,
Trying
right,
to get it through
Jeff.
to Musaba, but Sunderland get it away up to the halfway line, and it's headed straight to Clark. And and Clark on his left. Sheesh finding the gap, looking for Burstow. It's a sprint back for
pushing the back.
Diaby, and he's left Burstow on the floor. And now Diaby was booked a few minutes ago.
He didn't give the foul.
He didn't give the foul.
No.
He's not going to do any. He's not going to give any action. But I think Diaby's got to be careful. Quick word with Burstow. Picks himself up. And there'll be a drop ball from referee Sam Barrett, who's all in black tonight, to the feet of Bernard. Plays it back to goalkeeper Vasquez. And now on the left-hand side to Famewo. Back in Famewo. Signed from Norwich last year. And then there's a foul on O'Nien at the other end by Gregory, I think.
Yeah.
Anthony Patterson plonks the ball down.
I think Sunderland have just dropped a gear. Do you think they're chilling out a bit?
And who is it?
Delgado,
yeah.
Is it? I think it's Juan Delgado, the Chilean. Signed from Pacos Ferreira in the summer. 1 goal scored at Hull this season, but he's going to come on. He was in the starting lineup at Swansea last week, but dropped tonight and replaced by...
If anybody hears any snoring, it's just the wife just fell asleep on the sofa.
Anthony Patterson closed down, but he gets the ball clear of Lee Gregory, and it's picked up by Musaba, but he's tackled.
Well
and now Burstow to Ashish. Ashish has got Clark on the left. He's rolled it to Clark, but he's tackled by Bernard. He knocks the ball away out to Musaba. Musaba wide here.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's got Valentin trying to get it forwards to Byers, off the boot of Ballard for a throw to Sheffield Wednesday. Delgado just down here on the halfway line, waiting to come on, and we've got...
They're going to make another sub
just over 20 minutes left, and there's going to be a double change, yes, for Sheffield Wednesday. It looks like Ashley Fletcher, a familiar figure, is going to come on for Sheffield Wednesday. He spent that loan spell at Sunderland from Middlesbrough. In less happy times for Sunderland. Valentin trying to get on the end of it. He heads it back straight to Ballard. He plays it out to Clark here on the left in front of Tony Mowbray. Trying to get away on the left-hand side. Chased back by Valentin. Gets it inside to Ashish. Ashish, Diaby on his shoulder. Ashish down the left here. Wide on the left, and he's having to turn away from Diaby and slip the ball inside. Great ball into Dan Neil in the penalty area. Onto his left, he's forced away on that left-hand side by Bernard. He leaves it for Clark, and Clark just outside the box on the left. He's got Huggins coming down, but he curls a ball in into the hands of the goalkeeper. The double switch about to be made then by Sheffield Wednesday in the 71st minute. Goalkeeper just a short pass out to Famewo, back into the middle to Diaby. Diaby forwards to George Byers, then Hendrick in the middle, and he lifts it up looking for the run of Musaba, but it's going to fall for Huggins wide on the left, and he turns away and Musaba slips.
Is that the Watford game, is it?
Huggins inside to Dan Neil, lovely move away from Buckley, and then passes it out to Hume. Hume into the Sheffield Wednesday half on the right with Barr. Barr inside of him now, plays it back to Dan Neil. Man on, shouts the crowd, but he's got the ball away here on the left to Huggins. Huggins to Clark. Clark back onto the halfway line to Ballard. Forwards again to Dan Neil. Sunderland still leading 3-0. And Huggins, high ball played up into the penalty area, straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. Strange game in a lot of ways. You're 3-0 up, and it's just not... I don't think Sunderland have been at their best by any...
Oh, they haven't been at the
stretch.
best, but they don't need to be.
No.
You're thinking that Sheffield Wednesday in the second half will come out and have a go.
Yeah, and they haven't really. They've had a little flurry here and there, but nothing really to trouble Sunderland. Here's Jobe on halfway, gets a push in the back from Buckley, but it's laid off by Hume to Huggins here on the left-hand side, then to Clark wide on the left, back to Ballard. Ballard again into the middle to Dan Neil. Neil finds Jobe on the halfway line. He just passes it back to Hume, inside to Dan Neil. Forwards to Ashish, and then back to Ballard, out to Clark on the left here. Clark is a foot in from Valentin, I think it was. He's put it out for a throw. In fact, it was Buckley. Here's the changes then. Valentin is coming off here on this right-hand side. And also coming off is Buckley. Yeah.
I wonder how only Fools and Horses is getting on with his subscribers.
Cisco Munoz.
He's got 100,000 subscribers, I think he's got now.
It's a throw in the 73rd minute to Sunderland. Up towards Burstow. He's squeezed out by the two defenders who've clashed their heads. For Famewo and Diaby. Famewo's sitting up, but Diaby's flat out. So treatment immediately for the pair. And Some players taking an opportunity to come back down to the touchline. Dan Neil having a conversation with Tony Mowbray, a lot of pointing up towards the Leppings Lane end from Tony Mowbray for a moment, and having a word too with Jack Clark, a pat on the back for Clark. The two Wednesday players still being treated. Diaby still laying flat out on his face, and Famewo still sitting up. We're in the 74th minute, 3-0 to Sunderland. BBC Radio Newcastle. Sam Barrett, the referee, just stands the ball under his arm by the two hurt Sheffield Wednesday players. Jack Clark's just peeled off a plaster from the back of his leg and thrown it off the pitch. Diaby still
Gotta make another sub, aren't they?
worryingly is lying.
Is it
flat out?
Riggs coming on, is he?
Is it Chris Rigg? I think it's going to be Rusin and Chris Rigg are going to come on. Yeah.
Hey, is Rusin and the oil rig coming on?
What a pair.
Fresh legs for the final 15 minutes. There's going to be a few minutes added on now as a result of this stoppage. Worryingly, Diaby is still flat out on his face, and he has been for several minutes receiving treatment. And I'm not sure if he wasn't. I wonder if he's been.
I think Clark's going to get man of the match from Sky, like I can tell.
Clash of heads. Famewo is still sitting, nursing his forehead. Clearly quite a strong clash of heads. These two substitutes then, Rigg and Rusin, come out here, and the changes will be made. Clark's coming off for Rigg, so yet again denied a hat-trick. Clark.
It doesn't even know.
No, he's standing. It's something to be pointed out to him.
I know. What's the big deal of getting promoted to the Premier League? Just get
the other player
every
coming
week.
off is Burstow. So Burstow applauding the Sunderland fans behind Vasquez's goal. Diaby sitting up now, and Famewo still sitting down.
Jack
Not
Clark
autos.
still thinks he's on.
Jack Clark he's finally clicked.
Not autos. Leicester's got one of the top two spots.
And
I wouldn't like to call who's got the second one.
Sunderland fans. On comes Rusin, shakes Clark's hand, and Huggins. I'm not sure how good his Ukrainian is, but he's in conversation with Rusin. A lot of pointing and a lot of gesticulation from Huggins. I'm not quite sure what he was trying to pass on to him down there, and whether Rusin in his yellow boots understood Niall Huggins.
The universal language football.
Yeah, it is indeed, of course. Both players now up on their feet, and what's going to happen here? They're asking for a change. The goalkeeper saying Diaby needs to come off.
If he's been knocked out, then he needs to come off.
He's going to have to come off, isn't he?
Concussion.
So Diaby looks very groggy, actually. And the goalkeepers, already signalled to the bench that they need to get a replacement on, and there a couple of players down below us now taking off their training bibs.
You can bring on Palmer, can't they? Or Iofa.
It looks like, I think it's Dominic Iofa. Is that one of them, or is it? It's so hard to read their numbers on their backs. We'll have to rely on the referee's board, I think, to see.
That's Ashley Fletcher.
It's
coming on,
Liam Palmer. And well, I thought actually Fletcher came on before for Buckley, but do they not bring him on?
Tariq Backerton. I think that might be him who came on.
Yes, someone
Fletcher's coming on now.
And Fletcher's coming on now, yeah.
Gregory's gone off.
Yeah, Fletcher on for Gregory. And Palmer on for Diaby. So who replaced Buckley in that previous?
I think it was Tariq.
Do you think it's Tariq Bakinson? Yeah. Came on from 6'3", the midfielder. I'll see if that can be confirmed, but that seems to be the case. Fletcher initially was going to come on, but they obviously changed their minds. The ball hooked into the penalty area, but cleared by Huggins as it comes back to Hendrick, and he's tried to just thread it through again for Musaba, but it's cleared by Sunderland. 3-0 they lead. As it's played back to the substitute Liam Palmer here, who spent his entire career with Sheffield Wednesday, joined them as a 7-year-old, and he's going to have to be alert here because Rusin wide on the left, Aushish in the middle, Rusin tackled on this near side by Bakinson.
Can you do me a favour?
Musaba.
Can you do me a favour tomorrow?
Yeah, what's that?
Just have a word with Simon Pride.
Yeah, he's playing wide left.
Yeah, he's come on and he's telling me he's a striker.
Here is Musaba through the middle. O'Nien's just tugging him about a bit. He's got to be careful here. O'Nien's got the ball off him and the referee's taken no action. And ball back up into the centre circle. And Bernard has gone into the middle now, plays it out to Palmer on the right.
A block.
And one back by Aushish here, who nods it down, looking for Dan Neal, looking for Rusin. Liam Palmer heads it on down the right. Oh, and there's a collision here between Huggins and Fletcher. Not Fletcher.
No, it's not Fletcher. I think that's Bakinson.
Yeah.
Bakinson. You know, I was explaining to Simon Pride about Rusin. He's telling me he's a striker. I said, well, he can play out left.
We're playing him left here tonight again. Without question. Free kick then wide on the right here, halfway inside the Sunderland half. Going to be taken by George Byers. That's Gassama who came on actually. It's not Bakinson. And the ball swept away to the far side by Sheffield Wednesday. They're still having
Derby
to go
County
to try and get in from the left.
We drew 1-1.
JD
We drew 1-1. Was Derby away?
20-year-old Frenchman, who's a forward who's come on. He's playing out
it was
on the
late.
right here.
It was an equaliser.
And now here's Byers in the middle in the centre circle. Back to Vasquez, the goalkeeper, as well out in his midfield. Hendrick lays the ball off far side to Callum Patterson, back into the middle to Bernard. Cross here on the right hand side to Palmer. Rusin slid in, nearly caught.
Did any of you lot hear about the Robin Hood tree getting chopped down?
Played on down the right side for an offside. Gassama. And
just up the road from where I live, that.
Free kick to Sunderland. We're in the 83rd minute. Quite a lengthy stoppage for the injuries to Famewo and Diaby. It's 3-0 to Sunderland in what has been something of a nothing second half, really. Here's Ballard, back to Anthony Patterson. Fletcher gives chase. Dan Neal turns in front of Byrne. Gets it back to Byers, gets it back to Ballard, out to Huggins on the left here. He's got the ball away through and he's still going, and it's come out to Rusin on the left-hand side. Oh, he's caught. Delgado's caught him on the knee, and it's a yellow card for the Chilean on the left of midfield. This in the left, probably 25 yards out. In the 84th minute now. Will Sunderland snatch a fourth before the end? Only Gassama in the wall, a one-man wall. Al-Shish will take the free kick. And
he's going to shoot.
You think he is? Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. And there are cries of shoot from the Sunderland fans as he comes in here with his left foot. Oh, he curled it just past the post, not far wide of that post. And we've got 6 minutes plus whatever time added on at the end of the game. Vasquez recovers the ball, jogs back to his 6-yard line. Everybody seems to sprint up through the middle here. Vasquez in his lime green drives the ball up through the centre. Job heads it in the air, drops
Giving the Youngans a proper run out tonight.
Dan Neal, who's trying to get Rusin away on this left-hand side. That Delgado's got in front of him and plays it back to the goalkeeper. He kicks clear up to halfway.
We're that comfortable, it's boring, isn't it?
Comes down.
We are that comfortable. It's boring.
Shish, who brings it down and plays it into Job in the centre circle. Fletcher trying to get the ball off him, fouls him. Free kick to Sunderland.
The substitution.
Another one. And Triantis.
We could do with Sheffield Wednesday getting 2 quick goals, couldn't we? Just to make the excitement a bit more.
So a rare outing for Nectar Triantis. Or is it Sealt, actually? Thinking about it. Is it Sealt?
23.
It's Sealt, yeah, it's Sealt, not Triantis. My fault. Sealt is coming on for his debut. Jensen Sealt comes on, takes up a position on the right.
How's that not a penalty, like?
Circle at the moment. Ballard to,
how is that not a penalty?
And back to 09, and Sealt to get his first touch.
Have a look for yourself.
Over on that far side, turns away from Musaba, back to 09 and back to Anthony Patterson. And he's just pushed him. He's got the ball out here, kept in by Huggins, and Ballard up to Al-Shish. Now Rusin ahead of him. Al-Shish is sprinting on. He's got Rigg sprinting through the middle as well, wanting the ball played down the left of the penalty area. It's played across to Barr.
When you see the replay, Rance, when you see the
taking
replay.
it into the penalty area, and he's just gone down a bit too easily, I suspect, and it's a goal kick. So 86th minute, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Sunderland 3, live on BBC Radio Newcastle. And
you've got to say credit to the Sheffield Wednesday.
I like Sheffield Wednesday sponsors.
Well,
hey,
yes, all credit to them. There are not many, I must say. The two stands opposite. I can't tell behind us who's left. Fair few still here, and a fair few down below, although there's a lot more empty seats in what would have once upon a time been the paddock. And the ball's rolled out for a throw to Sheffield Wednesday on the far side. 3-0 to Sunderland. Closing stages. Throw a few yards up from the corner on the left for Sheffield Wednesday. I mean, Sunderland, they want to keep a clean sheet. That's their next challenge tonight, to make sure they don't concede a late goal. There's a lot of waving from the dugout here about the long throw that's come in, and it's headed to the back of the penalty area. And Dan Neal has just put his foot right through it, up in the air, and then he gets underneath it with Rigg in front of him. In fact, Rigg got underneath it. Back to Ballard here on the left, and Ballard is tripped by Ashley Fletcher. And a free kick to Sunderland. Over on the left. Deep in their own half. Rusin and Delgado are a little bit of pushing and shoving. And here's Anthony Patterson with the ball. Passing it out to Luke O'Nien. O'Nien to Dan Neal, who looks tired, and it's back to Anthony Patterson. Ballard here now in the 88th minute, up to Al-Shish, to Dan Neal through the centre circle here. Looking, is he for the run of Barr? He's found Barr on the far side. Rusin and Al-Shish up front, and a little run by Rusin to try and make some space, but it's come back to Dan Neal and Job. Job to Dan Neal again, and he rolls it out to the right. Barr.
It makes it sound so naff when they do it as well. Spoils the goal celebration. It sounds horrible.
from Dan Neil. It's going to drop away here on the left to Huggins, back inside to Aushish, and then Rosen makes a run into the box, but the ball curled onto the head of Delgado and cleared, or Liam Palmer and cleared, and then Barr on the far side. I'm trying to find a way through here on the corner of the penalty area. Rolls it down the right to Dan Neil, who pulls it back to Job. Job urged to shoot. Low ball straight at the goalkeeper. Right into him, and it's rolled out to Delgado on this right-hand side in the 89th minute. Up here to Gassama. And he's not fouled, says the referee. Or if he was, it was an advantage. And it's gone out to Musaba on the left. Back onto the halfway line to Famewo. Into Bernard. And now Byers. And Byers out wide to Delgado, who just plays it out. Sorry, out to Liam Palmer, who passes it out. It's a throw to
Wednesday.
There's a camera sort of blocking my view of the touchline just down from Tony Mowbray. It's a throw, though, to Sheffield Wednesday. Palmer's going to take it. And trying to urge Delgado on down the right wing, but he comes back now. Delgado gets the ball, plays it to Palmer, and then it's rolled down the touchline and out for another throw to Sheffield Wednesday. Fourth official, Matthew Donoghue, comes down here. We're going to have, how much do you reckon? 5 minutes? 6 minutes? As the ball hooked on by Bernard up to the edge of the Sunderland penalty area. Fletcher nodding it down. It's knocked away by Dan Neil to Sealt, who brings it out, but one back by Sheffield Wednesday on the far side. We're going to have 7 minutes of added time. And the cross from the left. Oh, it's flicked on here into the path of Fletcher. He couldn't get on the end of it properly. And it's cleared by Sunderland. And up to Barr, who's battling for it. And he's got the ball away here. The advantage played from the referee. It's threaded through to Aushish. Aushish chips the goalkeeper. He gets a hand to it, but it's offside. And the ball bounces wide of the post anyway. I thought when he made the break he was just off.
Yeah.
And the flag comes up. First minute of the 7. Still Sheffield Wednesday 0, Sunderland 3. It's been a good second half for Sheffield Wednesday. They've not conceded a goal.
0-0
yet. Yeah, 0-0. They'll take the positives. Here's Aushish again on the left, trying to find a rig, but he's beaten to it and is laid off on the halfway line to Callum Patterson, across to Palmer, and out to the right here, Delgado. And the Chilean international finds Fletcher. Back to Hendrick, into Bernard in the centre circle. Forward to Byers, back to Hendrick out wide to Delgado. Into Gassama, plays it back to Palmer. And then in the middle, Bernard. And then out wide on the left. It's a longish ball.
Thanks everybody for popping into the chat and supporting my channel as usual. Thank you.
Of the box on the right.
It's been nothing going on second half. Sunderland have just totally relaxed. They bossed the second half, bossed the match.
Rusin, and a good save by Patterson on the line. Byers header from point blank range, and Patterson blocked it. Good reaction save from Patterson. And they come again. It's over Fletcher's head. The save, just easily saved.
4 minutes left. That's including injury time, Tommy. Ton more, I should say.
3-0 then still to Sunderland. Here's Job to Ballard on the left-hand side. Back to Job. And here in the middle is Job again. Job to Sealt in the centre of the Sunderland half. 93rd minute. Job again. To Huggins.
You're welcome, David. Thanks,
back
mate.
To Job. And he's lifting it over the top, looking for the run of Rig. Cut out, though, by Bernard.
They've been quiet. There's just nothing to report. Not a thing.
Centre circle.
It's just been a training session second half for Sunderland.
To Sealt, to Neil, And he's got it out to Barr now on the far side on the right touchline. He can't get it past Patterson. It's a throw to Sunderland on the
thanks,
right.
Leighton, mate. Thank you.
That stand on the far side is
pretty
much nearly empty now. And the throw taken. I couldn't quite hear what the attendance was. They did announce it. But here is Fletcher trying to break here on the right with Gassama, who's battling with Huggins. And finally thinks he's pulled down, but away comes Rusin on the left-hand side and plays it into the middle here. And it's played by Rigg down the left again for Rusin, and it's probably too much for him to chase. And Palmer managed to get it away to Delgado. On to Hendrick. And he's tackled by Rigg. Back to Job and back again to Ballard. 95th minute now into this. As out it comes to Dan Neil, Job, back to Ballard, out to Job again. Job still in his own half to Dan Neil. Back again to O'Nien, Dan Neil, O'Nien. And
they've got a lot of work to do, Sheffield Wednesday, haven't they?
They have,
really,
haven't they? Yeah. They have. You wonder where it's all going to end for them, and many people are making the prediction that they're going to go straight back down already. So Job here just knocking it back to Ballard.
No pressure.
The attendance, thank you Colin White back in the studio, said that the attendance at the start of the game at least was 25,987.
This is,
it's probably around 987 now.
You wouldn't have thought that Sheffield Wednesday were losing, would you? The way they're strolling around, no pressure.
There's no pressure, and I'd just say it's been a strange
25,000 is the attendance tonight.
Patterson's had a couple of saves to make from Callum, Patterson and Byers, but it never really got in behind, have they? And I still think Sunderland have been playing in second gear for a great deal of the game.
Here's, player of the match has been awarded to Jack Clark.
Rusin was on his shoulder, and to Hendrick, back to Palmer. In the 96th minute now, here's Hendrick again on halfway on the right of the centre circle, back to Bernard. Palmer back to the goalkeeper, and he plays it out wide then to Famewo, down the line to Callum Patterson over his head up towards Musaba, and he's making a break through the middle. He's going to shoot from range, and it's off range, off target, well wide for a goal kick. And we're into the last of the 7 minimum minutes being added on here by Sam Barrett. And after those 2 goals in the first 8 minutes, and we thought there may be a deluge of goals, it's all rather sort of limply crept on this game. Jack Clark's penalty on the half hour, just after the half hour. 3-0 Sunderland lead. Here's Delgado. Patterson claims it, catches it comfortably. 20 seconds of the 97 minutes left. Patterson picks himself up, and
well, that's it. I'm going to end the stream now.
For everybody
it's been a very chilled out second half.
Upfield,
great win by the lads. Thanks
centre,
everybody for tuning in.
Group and the kick.
We catch you
there he is. There is the final
Wednesday
whistle.
night when we play Watford.